Most stories, like ours, begin in a way so repetitive it's almost a requirement. A tavern bustling with life and intrigue, or a kingdom steeped in mystery and subterfuge. Mystical tales of great wizards and powerful warlocks, fantastical stories of brave knights and maniacal necromancers. Perhaps even stories of Dungeons and Dragons. But not this one. Instead, our story is familiar in a different way. Great volumes of overlapping chatter fill the ears no matter what you do, and the sounds of footsteps are almost loud enough to drown out the chorus of angry car horns. Food carts shout to the crowds, a few stopping to exchange small sums of cash for a quick bite to eat. Indeed, our story does not begin in the fantasy of the past, but the monotony of the present. Newcrest, a bustling urban labyrinth on the west coast that rarely ever sleeps and even rarer still is ever fully awake. From the coast, we see the small number of piers extending like roots into the sea. Along its edge, the towering skyscrapers are like pillars holding up the sky. A plane begins to hurtle down the runway of the small Kerbin International Airport, whipping past as we move further to see the short rolling hills of Silver Lily, a quiet area restricted to those who meet the income quota of the massive mansions built there. Continuing south, we see the Hills Mall and a large football stadium in a more commercial area between Silver Lily Hills and a startlingly sharp contrast, the run-down buildings of Redwater, a no-man's land dedicated to keeping the tendrils of the city government out, and a home to some of the more unsavory criminals in Newcrest. Finally, we move in to see a small, well-kept tram free of clutter and stains. Riding its way east. Newcrest prides itself on many things, from its attractive botanical gardens sprinkled around the city to the carefully maintained streets. But more than anything else, they pride themselves on their public transportation, to the point of inviting everyone to use it by allowing it to be free. Here, we see our first player waiting to arrive at her stop, the Redwater Homeless Shelter, a small building directly outside the bounds of Redwater. And Selena, if you'd be so kind as to describe Rena.
Yeah, so Rena is she's 5'7", she's black, she's a little heavier at 170 pounds, but regardless, she right now is wearing a plum-colored jumpsuit with a kind of peach tan knee-length trench coat wrapped around her. Not that she's cold, she just wants to look professional and thinks trench coat is the way to go about it. She has a very loved light purple scarf, a cream white pair of like giant round glasses covering her really bright amber eyes. She has two blackish brown puffy bubble braids on either side of her head.
Very nice. And you are currently, it is a lovely Saturday morning as you are on your way to the Redwater Homeless Shelter.
I'm going to look at the photo in kind of both a kind of an, I want to say like heartbroken anger, but also regret. And I'm going to very hesitantly swipe away the picture.
Yep. You swipe it away, and you kind of tuck your phone back into your bag, but I think the damage is done. You feel these sort of bittersweet memories of you talking with Keon, this person that you had for so long grown to respect and see as a friend of yours. And all that was kind of brought to a standstill over some incidents that I think you kind of choose to block out from your mind. As you kind of realize the train has stopped and the doors are about to close.
Okay. Shoot, I wasn't even paying attention. So I have my
It's like a messenger bag.
messenger bag. I was forgetting the word.
Satchel.
My brown messenger bag. I'm gonna keep it close to me, and I'm gonna kind of start running to the door to get out.
Yeah. You feel it kind of close just barely on one of the sort of like coattails of your jacket, but you manage to kind of pull it out before you get locked in. And the train begins to move. And as it moves away, you find yourself facing the sort of iron fences of Redwater, staring at these sort of large, dirty brown, like condominium apartment style buildings, with a great amount of graffiti and things like that on the signs around the outside. Some general expletives, some things mentioning things about the government staying out, that sort of thing. Things you're used to.
Do I notice any new graffiti marks?
Nothing particularly new. You do notice these very occasional bright flashes of color in comparison to the sort of black or white paint that most people use. You do see these occasional drawings done in sort of like blues and purples and pinks.
All right. Well, you said nothing new?
Nothing.
All right. That's important. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to the Redwater soup kitchen.
Yeah. You begin to make your way in, and there's a few people that are sitting outside that kind of wave at you, people you've seen 100,000 times before, that all kind of spend most of their time here around the soup kitchen. As you make your way in, and you are full and well expecting a particular type of welcome that it is up to you how you respond to.
All right. I'm gonna dust myself off, make sure that nothing's really like wrinkled, everything's looking ironed and lint free. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off and greet her first. Miss Gloria! Hi, good morning.
You kind of peer over the sort of front counter, and you see this sort of plump black woman who is currently sitting and doing paperwork. And as you speak, she kind of sits up a little bit and turns around to face you. This is a first. You're late.
I mean, it was a few minutes. Miss Gloria.
Yeah, of course it's a few minutes, but it's not like you. Normally, you are always on time, right on the minute. And I'm not saying you have to be here. I think you and I both know that you come here because you want to. But I just find it rather interesting. Perhaps you found someone to talk to?
No. No. Never, Miss Gloria. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I actually almost missed the bus stop. I got distracted.
I understand. It's not uncommon for kids your age to be distracted by all sorts of things. Don't worry about it. And she sort of reaches her hand over the desk to take your bag.
All right, Miss Gloria, where do you want me?
She just kind of smiles as she takes your bag and starts to put it into a lockbox. You're welcome to go wherever you like. As stated, I've got more than enough hands here, but I always appreciate help.
You got it, Miss Gloria.
And as you start to walk away, you do hear her kind of call out. I know you hate me asking, but how are they? How are your mom and pops?
Well, Miss Gloria, you know how they are. Um, they're um, they're they're acknowledging each other's presence.
And that's all.
Yep.
You see, she sort of shakes her head a little bit. I remember seeing them when they were younger together for their first few years. Your mama would always come by and ask for ways that she could do better for her husband, help their relationship, and it was really painful to watch when they kind of separated like that. So I've been trying to get her to go to therapy and to convince him to go with her, but I'm sure you know just how hard headed they can both be from time to time.
Well, yeah, but finals are coming up at school. You know, my mom, she gets really into these things, wanting to make sure that all her students are gonna pass. She has a lot of last minute homeworks and papers to grade, so she's been really busy.
Yeah. You see she sort of nods solemnly but accepts it. Um and she sort of opens her mouth to say something but then kind of stops and just gives you a warm smile and says, "All right, you go off, keep yourself busy."
Yes, Miss Gloria, and I am going to head off to the kitchen.
Yeah. Um you're on your way, and several of the people that live here in the homeless shelter kind of wave to you. Um, a few of them just kind of stop you for quick conversation. Um, and as you're kind of sitting and talking with one of them, you feel a sort of pat on your back.
Did you need something?
Uh, yeah, you turn around and you find yourself, instead of looking eye to eye with someone, kind of tilting your head up, and you see someone you've seen here several times, uh, Father Elias Bishop.
Oh, I'm gonna adjust my braids behind me, pull my hair from behind me, and kind of fidget with one.
Yeah, Elias is this sort of taller, uh, more of a tan man. He has this sort of short black hair that he keeps sort of slicked back most of the time, and he is this fairly well built priest. You see him in his normal sort of box collar shirt that he wears around the church, but here when he's working at the homeless shelter, he has his sleeves rolled up. And you see that he has a great number of tattoos sort of from his wrist going up. And he just kind of smiles at you. "It's very good to see you, Miss Ryder.
Good morning, Father.
I assume you are here to offer some semblance of assistance."
You know I am.
"Very good. It does seem that the cook has been having some sort of problem in the kitchen, but I hope that you will be able to help him resolve it. Personally, I am not the type to work in the kitchen. I am not exactly a quick hand when it comes to cooking."
Okay. Yeah. Anything for you, Father? Is there anything else I can help you with right now?
"At the moment, no. I'm just glad to see another child here to serve." Uh,
Child.
when he says that, he's referring to child of the faith. And as you sort of turn to walk away, I don't even think you turn to walk away. You kind of step backwards to stay
Oh
facing
yeah,
him.
keeping my eyes on that.
You do see someone kind of step out from behind him, and you recognize another of the Bishop brothers, as there's a pair of them. Dennis.
Oh, no!
He is very similarly built, if not a few inches shorter than his brother, but he has this sort of permanent scowl on his face. And you do hear him faintly begin to talk to Elias. "Brother, I implore you, there are better uses of our time than here. I suggest we," and you watch as Elias pats him on the shoulder and just says, "There is no better place for our service to be done than to those who need it. I encourage you to rethink your position, brother. And you see the dentist kind of looks at you and narrows his eyes a little bit.
Very tight-lipped, just a slight shoulder dip, like, acknowledgement, Father Dennis.
Miss Ryder. And he says nothing more and turns to follow behind Elias.
Day ruined. I started off so great. God damn it, Dennis. All right. Yep, making my way to the kitchen.
Yeah. You make your way to the kitchen, and there is one of the... He was originally someone who spent most of his time there as one of the homeless, who eventually kind of was there long enough that Gloria offered him a job. And you know him simply by Ricky, who is currently in the kitchen working on some sort of soup.
Good morning, Chef Ricky. How are we doing today?
We're doing as good as we always do, Miss Ryder. I assume you're here to help?
Yeah, Father Elias was saying you need to help with something.
I was hoping he sort of reaches into his pocket and pulls out a kind of crumpled set of bills. He's like, currently I'm out of rosemary. I don't know if you'd be able to go and pick some up. I don't know what places are open this early in the morning, but I must have missed something, and we're currently all out of rosemary.
Rosemary? Okay. Yeah, I can do that for you. I will take the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put it in my trench pocket. And I will leave the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do is snag a wooden spoon and see if I can grow rosemary from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a Arcana check.
Arcana. That is a 12.
Nice. Yeah, you sort of hold this spoon and kind of close your eyes. You've done your best to keep your abilities kind of hidden away from most people, and you don't often practice with them. So some of these simpler things do have a tendency to be a little difficult depending on the day, but you do kind of close your eyes and focus, and when you open them again, you do see these sort of small branches of rosemary coming from the handle of the spoon.
Okay, nice. So I am going to pluck them off the spoon, and I'm gonna kind of try to shave it as best I can. I think the knife's in my messenger bag, which Miss Gloria has. Can I look around outside for a sharp rock?
Yeah, absolutely. Make an investigation check.
That is a 21.
Yeah, you do manage to find it's not much. It's like a chunk of concrete that kind of came out of the road at some point that was moved off to the side before it was repaved. And you are able to kind of smack it a couple times on the side of the building to get it broken up into something that is semi-usable as a knife.
All right, I'm going to shave the rosemary roots off of the spoon, so it doesn't look out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check. We'll see how well you do.
11.
There are a few spots where when you hold it in your hand, you can't feel it, but when you look at it closely, you do see there are sort of these, almost like warping in it, where you kind of weren't able to shave it down to a point where it was smooth. But it's the best you can do with what you got.
Well, all right. I'm going to stay outside for a couple minutes just to make it seem like I went to a farmer's market. And give it a little bit of time. Do I have my phone on me, or is it in my bag?
That would be up to you.
Okay. I assume I put it in my bag. So just to keep everything together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I'm gonna walk back into the building and into the kitchen. What do you know, Chef Ricky? The guy at the farmer's market, he was in such a good mood. He actually gave me this fresh rosemary for free. So here, you can have your money back.
Hey, deception check for me.
Oh no. Am I gonna lie to that?
Thank you.
13.
Well, that is particularly surprising. Normally, he's not the kind to offer up free spices like that. But maybe he's having a particularly good day today. And you see he takes it from you and begins to start sort of cutting it up and preparing to use it.
Yeah, Chef Ricky. You know I can talk people up. You know I got talk skills.
He sort of shakes his head and gives you just sort of a very wry smile as he continues to work on the dish he's making. Goodness. And I'd say, I assume you're probably staying there to help him out and everything.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour or so before everything is fully prepared and everything. And he sort of brings out these sort of herb-crusted chicken breasts with a sort of like a minestrone type soup, primarily with vegetables more than anything else. And sets it all out onto the area where they allow people to serve themselves, essentially. And he starts pulling on those plastic gloves that he uses to serve the soup. And he kind of glances at you and says, "You willing to help serve up?"
Of course. Anything for you, Chef.
Yeah. He sort of hands you a pair of the gloves and a spare ladle. And kind of lets you assist him with serving. We sort of cut to a far less professional looking building, this sort of massive, sort of flat brick building that is colored in these all just sort of huge variety of almost like the bowling alley carpet, where it's got sort of the simple drawings of stars and galaxies and things like that, with a large a large billboard sign of what appears to be Mount Fuji. And we are currently at the Mount Fuji roller rink. And we sort of move in, and we see sort of these arcade machines and things like that, these kids sort of running back and forth, just screaming their heads off, playing these sort of arcade games. And we cut to the main event. There is this sort of large plexiglass wall between the arcade and what is a massive roller rink. There's maybe 100, 200 people in the stands. Not a huge crowd, but enough to fill up this area. As we currently see two teams sort of rocketing around this oval track. With this, we see who our second character would know as, oh God, what's her first name?
Jackie.
Jackie, thank you. Jeez. Good God. I completely blanked there. Jackie Fujiwara, who is this sort of young, spunky Asian girl, who is currently wearing a fairly loose-fitting tank top and sort of like jean shorts, holding this microphone to her mouth as she's waving this flag to signify that this is the last portion of the competition. As she sort of looks out to the crowd. We are in our last bout of this tournament. This could be it. This could decide who wins and who loses between the Nova Knockouts and the Riverview Rockets. And we sort of pan into this large group of younger girls who are kind of shouldering up against each other to one particular person. And I will let Chris describe her character.
Yeah, so as of right now, Chris is wearing her team's outfits for the Nova Knockouts, New Crest Nova Knockouts. Just like a tank top, like purple tank top, has like a almost like a comet across the tank top with the symbol or the acronym for New Crest on there, the NC for New Crest. Just athletic shorts and roller derby gear. And yeah, she's got bright blue and pink hair. She really fits the theme of the almost space theme going on within this building. But yeah, she currently is blocking right now.
Yeah. Currently, you know well enough that the score is almost perfectly tied, and you are down to the final few seconds and final few feet of this rotation. And we will go ahead and actually just have a quick little initiative. Okay.
1 second. That is a 21.
Right on. God damn, 21?
Yeah.
Jesus. So the way I'm just sorting it is your actions between the enemy teams and your team. So currently you are first.
Yeah, she's a slippery son of a bitch.
So currently you do see the opposing team's jammer making their way towards your group.
Okay. Try to direct the other blockers to kind of create this wall to get that jammer away from going in front of us, basically, so that she doesn't get any more points. And yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead and have you make a charisma check to corral your team.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah. It's good. Great. Yeah. Yeah. How was that though? That's a 10.
Nice. What do you say to your team? I forgot that this is a roleplay game. You got to roleplay it.
Guys, we gotta fucking stop her. It's just like a really bad, like, no direction, just like, we gotta fucking stop that bitch.
Stop her!
Try to like link arms, kind of.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, you see that a couple of the other teammates sort of link arms with you to kind of create a barrier to stop them, and this jammer is going to make a dexterity check to try and squeeze through. You can make a contested dexterity or strength.
I'll do contested dexterity.
Wow.
You're cooked. 18.
That is a dirty, stinky 20.
Damn it, dude!
You watch this girl sort of crouch down to get underneath your linked arms, and you go to move your body in front of her, and at the last second, you watch her sort of swing off to one side and go through the opening that you created, moving off to the opposite side, as she manages to just barely squeeze past the group of you.
Damn. Okay.
And your team is going to make their action now.
Okay.
We're going to have a couple attempts to stop her. We're going to use her same dexterity roll. Nope. Okay. One of your teammates just barely manages to step in front of her and at least keep her from getting all the way through your group. So she's currently the other team's jammer is in the middle of your little blocker group. And it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to try to make sure that our jammer can go through so that we get more points, since she just got a bunch of points for going past our blockers. So I'm trying to distract the other blockers in the other team, basically.
Yeah. Okay. We will make. I will have you make 3 contested strength checks.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on a second. That just reminded me.
Somebody have a special feat?
Uh-huh.
I have some special feet, dude.
Oh,
Fancy feet.
Fancy feet, dude.
wombo combo.
So now I have unbalanced opponent, which a designated opponent doesn't get to add his or her strength modifier to attack rolls.
Okay. I will make 3 rolls.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what they got.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what they add.
Okay.
But you will get to pick 1 through 3 which one does not get to add their strength.
Okay.
So I'm going to make these 3 rolls real fast.
Okay.
And make yours so that I know what they're trying to beat. That's not good. What did you get?
A 3.
Nice! Okay. I've got my 3 rolls here. What do you add to your strength?
Nothing.
Oh, nice!
Yeah. So that's what we're balling with right now.
Okay. Out of the 3 rolls, which one do you not want to add their strength modifier to?
Number 2.
Number 2? Okay.
Yeah. Right in the middle.
You go to block. You go to kind of push these other blockers out of the way. And you sort of body check this first one, and she does not budge at all. And you're like, okay, cool, that's 1, that's fine, I can get 2 others. Not a single one of them moves.
Not a strong woman, apparently.
and-
Unfortunately.
Your team's jammer does not see any paths to get through.
Okay.
I will have your team make some checks as well. We will use those same rolls that they got already. So give me just a second to see if your team can clear up anything. Nope, I bumped that. Jesus.
Can I make a suggestion to you?
Yeah, what's up?
There is a player that is a pivot and that can become the jammer basically in a round.
Yeah, I would say that since I will, you're not the team captain.
Yeah.
You're not the one in charge. You can make the suggestion and see if they take it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Make a charisma check.
Come on, Chris. Please. That's a 6.
What do you say to her?
Basically like
Not just basically.
I know, I'm trying to think.
For the audio listeners, I wiggled my finger at her.
He
No.
he waggled his finger at me, dude.
Make sure you're talking in the microphone.
Dude, I'm still the microphone. Come on, card jammer, pivot, go!
You kind of watch the team captain kind of look at you and furrow her brow a little bit. And she turns to the same pivot and says, "No, we can clear a spot. Don't listen to her." And your team is going to attempt to clear out some space.
God, fucking damn it, dude. There's no way, dude.
And to your surprise, you watch as several of your team members manage to clear away. And your jammer does manage to just barely squeeze through.
Cool.
They beat every single roll just barely.
Wow. Okay.
And your jammer has managed to make her way through. And the opposing team is going to, let's see here. So currently your team is attempting to block anyone. There's only 1 person left, so we're just going to have a single contested strength here.
Okay.
You watch as one of the opposing blockers sort of comes in and attempts to move your team's blocker out of the way, and is just not able to get her to budge no matter what.
Damn.
And their jammer is going to make a dexterity check to see if she can get out of the way with advantage. Or disadvantage, because the person's in front of her.
Okay.
Ooh! Okay.
I don't know if that was a good or bad. That was a bad dude.
I dropped my dice. Yep. And the chamber does not move.
Awesome.
And we're back to you. I would say that you are currently. I would say that at the end of this, you will have reached the full rotation. At the end of this turn rotation, you will have reached the end of the track, and that will be it. So this is your last chance to get as many points as possible.
I mean, there's not enough. There's not much I can really do. So I'll just keep blocking their blockers and make sure their pivot doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. We'll do another set of contested strength checks.
God damn it, dude.
Ooh. Okay. What'd you get?
2.
Oh my god! All right, your
Damn, rough night.
your unbalanced opponent still applies. So which one do you want to not add the strength modifier?
Numero uno.
Number 1 was a natural 20.
I hate myself.
Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, if you'd be so kind. And what does your nimble do for you?
My nimble
'Cause
does.
I can look it up if needed.
No, I got it. Known for your graceful gait and your ability to remain on your feet. Doesn't say anything else.
Okay, so let me look it up real fast. Or actually, Cody, could you look it up? Just look up nimble feet D&D.
Nimble feet, dude.
Yeah, I have it. I was.
We have it,
I don't
but
have the exact.
It doesn't
function
have like a.
yet. I
yeah.
just had this simple.
Has a description.
Yeah, just the general description, so you knew what you were picking.
Read this. It's in the words. That was the 7. That was the 7. That was the 7.
Increase your dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. Use dexterity instead of strength to determine the distance you can jump.
Oh, okay.
You have advantage on saving throws against being forced prone, and standing up from prone only costs you 5 feet of movement. And when you fall, you can use your reaction to take half damage from the fall. You are not prone after landing.
It's a paragraph of information.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make a dexterity saving throw at advantage.
Oh, at advantage? Okay.
Yeah, because your nimble feet applies.
I ain't gonna read. Okay, well,
I
10.
ain't reading all that.
I will, so.
I'm the reader, dude.
With a 13. You go to fully ram into one of these blockers, and you are prepared for her weight to stop you from continuing, and she fully just sidesteps you, and you realize you have made a fatal mistake as you find yourself hurtling to the floor. And because of your nimble feet, you're going to take less damage.
Told these bitches I should have been the jammer, but they made me a blocker, so. Yeah.
You take 2 points of damage as you hit the ground hard.
Damn. I fumbled the bag, dude.
And you are currently on the floor. That would be your team's turn. Your jammer is already through, so she's just gonna keep moving.
How far is she?
She's pretty far ahead, but it is possible for it to still come out to a tie if the other jammer can get through.
There's no way, dude. She's so far ahead.
And so we're gonna go ahead and make some.
If she power jams, it's over, guys. It's over. I watched a 4-minute video on this.
Let's see here. We're going to make some checks. God damn. Her team did dog shit. Okay. She's going to make this dexterity check with disadvantage because none of her team was able to move any blockers out of the way.
God fucking damn it, dude.
No, this is her. Team. This is good. This is good. You're still on the floor, but you get to watch.
I'm on the.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yes!
Let's go! I'm part of this, most definitely.
Oh. Make a perception check.
Ooh. I'm perceiving something. Holy shit. Okay. Oops. Oh! So I have a +6 to perception too.
Jesus.
25.
All I
Nice.
imagine is your eyes just expand in your head.
Vision
So what
in
did you
your
get
hands.
total?
25.
25. You know she's gonna make it through. The opposing jammer is gonna make it through. And I would
Can't
say
let
that
this
you have a
happen.
fraction of a second to decide what you're going to do here.
Kill her.
Be gone!
Um,
I would say that you know well enough that if she gets through, it's not going to result in a win, but it is going to result in a tie.
You have nimble feet, so you can get up quicker.
I'm not gonna make it over there though in time. I don't
There's a
think.
distance to cover.
Yeah.
However,
It's only 5 feet of distance.
what kind of cantrips do I
Oh no. Okay, I'll let you decide that real. Well, I was gonna say once again as well, we're not like in combat.
Yeah,
so
I
you
know.
can use whatever, but
Okay.
obviously not like a level 9.
Well, I might
Send
just
them to
use. I might
space.
use like force shield or something and like
Disintegrate.
die.
Power word kill.
Might use like force shield or something, but let me see if I can. If I need to like do something specific or not.
Light. Bless you.
So we've got up to level 2 spells.
Yes, we do. We.
Yeah. She's still got up to level 2, but she can only use level 2 1.
Right. I should have used level 1 and then
Yeah.
But I can still use all the cantrips I have.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work.
okay, out of bed. I will let you know
Yeah,
if you do cast a spell, you will have to make a sleight of hand check to make sure no one sees it.
that's okay. It's probably a dexterity thing, so.
And I will also say that you will be making it at advantage because there is stuff going on around you. You are not the center of attention right now.
But there's also, I think, so long as you don't have a somatic component, people aren't really going to be listening to you talking
No.
to yourself.
It's probably so loud in there that you can't even hear anything,
Yeah.
anyways. What's this one? trying to find one. Hold on.
Well, like I said, it doesn't have to be a specific spell. You can just
okay.
describe what you want to do. Exactly.
Okay, well. Am I able to, like, either make, like, a tiny little, like, force field, like, on the ground so that she trips and falls? Or, like, a small, like, little
Yeah, just like a
portal, like, almost like if a car was, like going
like
over,
a pothole.
like a
essentially.
pothole, yeah.
Yeah,
In the
I'd say you
track.
could do that.
Oh god.
Just, like,
Go
Jack
ahead.
never got that whole
just
prepared.
open it and then close it, just real quick so that she just trips and falls.
Go ahead and make your sleight of hand check at advantage.
Okay. Hold on, give me a second.
No, this is important.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
You get a decent.
Woohoo!
like,
21.
don't you?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got 3 plus for deciding.
Just
Take up this dexterity.
describe what our audience sees here.
So Chris, in a desperate attempt to stop the other team's jammer, is while she's on the ground, so dramatically, she's going to basically kind of almost like put her hand out and almost like kind of point to where she wants this kind of like small little portal to be, and it's going to kind of open up right as the other jammer is gliding across the track, which, because it's almost like a little pothole, she's gonna fall, trip and fall,
Okay.
and then she just closes it right back up again,
Yep.
like, almost like it never happened.
I'm going to make a dexterity check for this jammer real quick. It's going to be a disadvantage because she has no idea what's happening.
What the fuck? Is there a hole in the ground?
She's locked in. She's too locked in.
You watch as she's building up this speed to get past this blocker, and she does not fully eat it. But you do watch her stumble quite a bit, enough for everyone to get past her to keep her from getting any further points.
Nice.
And I will say you have one more action as the match comes to a close.
I'm gonna get up and look at.
You get up and start making your way past as you see this girl that you hit with this sort of pothole is like looking around trying to figure out what she tripped on. As she knows that there's no way that she's going to be able to make up the point that was lost by her stumbling. As the final jammer makes her way across the line, and you just hear this loud sort of air horn sound as Jackie waves this checkered flag, and everyone just starts cheering and applauding as she pulls up her microphone and the final match of our tournament, our winners, and she points over to your team. The New Crest Nova Knockouts. And there is this loud, uproarious cheer as the other team is kind of all circling around the person who stumbled and is trying to figure out what happened. But no one has any idea.
Let's freaking go, dude.
Let's go.
I'm so sneaky, dude.
And with that, the match is over.
Can I be an asshole?
Do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that so at the end of the match, everyone kind of gathers up in the center and to sort of fist bump, good game, that sort of thing, and make their way
GG
out.
easy.
I go to the jammer and I say, "Can't believe you fumbled like that on a smooth track."
Oh my god. See, if I was a jammer, I wouldn't let that slide.
I would be jamming my fist into her face.
Yeah, you kind of you go over to her and kind of sort of make this snarky remark, and you see that the rest of her team kind of starts to back her up. And one of the girls kind of looks at you and says, "Listen, we get it. No one else wanted you to be in their team, so why don't you just fuck off?"
Ooh. Random.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be on your team anyways.
There's a reason no one wants you to be on their team. And you see several of them kind of flip you off and they all start to roll off.
Right. How does that explain I'm on a team then? Whatever.
And Jackie kind of is expecting everyone to sort of like, good sportsmanship, shake hands, and she watches as this other team just rolls off.
What did you do? What have you done?
And she just kind of she hands you guys a little award, essentially. And with that, people start to file out, and you see that Jackie kind of elbows you in the back pretty hard. It's just like, the fuck did you say?
Listen, all I'm saying is I don't know how she could trip. She had an open space and a flat track. I mean, why would she trip? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't that seem weird to you?
Weren't you the one that was on the floor earlier?
Yeah. But that was me trying to attempt to block somebody. She was just skating.
Accidents happen, I guess?
Yeah, whatever. Well,
and you see that the other team kind of they take their award. They all kind of give everyone congratulations, and the captain kind of approaches you and is like,
she.
I apologize. She kind of comes up to you and holds out her hand for a fist bump, and it's like, you did really good. But next time, leave the call-outs to me. There's a reason I'm team captain.
Team captain, why can't you make me a jammer instead of blocker?
Because I didn't think that was where you were needed. Our jammer did just fine.
Listen, I'm a fast skater. I'm not a strong person, so you saw me biff it out there. It was embarrassing.
All I'll say is no one else biffed it except for her, except for the other jammer. So either way, you did a great job. Hopefully, you'll be willing to come back on our team for the next tournament. And she sort of hands you a little piece of paper with her phone number on it to contact her for the next tournament, and moves off. And I have a feeling that you don't follow behind them, as you normally keep a sort of separation between you and the rest of your team.
They're my team, not my friends.
Yeah.
So.
And you see Jackie beginning to clean up all of the stuff in the center of the ring.
kind of roll over quietly behind her. And say, "What's up, Jackie?"
She kind of turns to you, and I would say that it's good to clarify that you've known Jackie for a long time. She was one of the people that kind of got you into learning to skate, and is the owner of the roller rink. The reason that it is called Mount Fuji is for her last name, Fujiwara. It was easy. It was an easy correlation for her to draw. And you see that she's cleaning up sort of the microphones and the flags and everything. And she doesn't really turn to you to talk to you while she's working, but she's just like the usual, cleaning up. How about you? How did your team take that?
Fine, just, team captain doesn't like me making call-outs, even though I feel like, even though everything turned out fine, they didn't successfully make a path for a jammer. We could have been lapped pretty easily, but whatever.
She nods a little bit. To be fair, they would be a bit more willing to listen to your call-outs if you saw them as friends more than anything else.
I don't think it's really necessary to be friends with your team, to be honest. I'm not looking to make friends on this team. I've been expecting to be a good team, just not friends, so.
She sort of furrows her brow a little bit as she pulls up this sort of large duffel bag with all the stuff in it. Why do you have to make a distinction exactly?
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, would you really be friends with these people if they weren't on your team?
I would try to be.
I'm just saying that the situation demands for it, but, maybe I don't like the people on my team.
She sort of grins a little bit and is like, do you really like anyone on any of the teams you've been on?
Not really, no.
Okay. It's amazing to me that you've been on, 4 teams now? That's a good number of people, and you've liked none of them.
Yeah, it happens, dude.
A statistical wonder, she says as she pulls up her bag and makes her way to the front counter. As she sort of regales you with the usual conversation. How are your parents? How's your brother? And as she sort of puts her stuff onto the counter, she sort of reaches out to take your skates, as you normally keep them here.
Yeah. My skates for
The competition. Yeah, I would say the competition.
Wait a second.
Yeah, the competition ones, not your normal ones.
Yeah. Okay.
She does, and you sort of start to reach into your bag to grab your either your personal pair of skates or your shoes, whichever you choose to.
Yeah, probably skates. But
and as you do, you see the box of cigarettes that you left on the top of your bag before the match.
Shit.
And you do not feel that there's enough time for you to get them out of sight before she sees them. If you were to try and hide them.
Okay. Can I... Let's see if this is something I can do.
Disintegrate.
Why would I do that? That's crazy.
Just keep your bag away.
That's expensive, dude.
Disintegrate on Jackie.
Power word kill! Die!
This person I've known for years.
Die!
Die.
I'm gonna try to wrist pocket the cigarettes.
Yes, absolutely. You see them and you realize in the fraction of a second that you notice them that you need to get rid of them, and you swipe your hand over them and they disappear. As she looks down at your bag and doesn't see anything out of the ordinary.
So you got more teams coming in for the next tournament.
She sort of pulls out some paperwork and she kind of sighs. I haven't had too many teams sign up yet. I'm hoping that more of them sign up towards the end, but I mean, we only had a 14 tournament this time around. It wasn't great, and so far the turnouts have been worse and worse.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie.
It happens. Depending on how things turn out, we may have to change the roller rink out to something else.
You're looking very upset.
Yeah, she kind of looks at you and just kind of shrugs and sighs and is. Listen, it's not exactly cheap to keep a roller rink up.
Why don't you do like a after school thing? Teaching kids or whatever. I'm sure plenty of parents that have lots and lots of money would throw money at that. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is most kids don't want a rollerblade. It's
kids these days.
It may surprise you to know, but roller skating is not on most kids' number one thing to do after school.
Probably on fucking TikTok or whatever.
But yeah, you see that she sort of puts her arms up on the counter and kind of leans as she looks at the roller rink, you see that. Make an insight check.
Squirm. Let me. $19.
19?
Yeah.
You see that this is something she's been thinking about for a lot longer than she's letting on.
What are you thinking about? What's in your mind?
It's getting harder and harder to keep this place up. The first time, I think it was a lot easier because it was new. It was a novelty sort of thing. But I mean, past couple years, I've just barely been breaking green.
Well, why don't you just do something different? Try something new. In here.
She sort of looks at you and sort of sarcastically is like, "Of course! I never would have thought of that."
Okay, well, fuck you too.
She sort of shakes her head and there's only so much you can do with a roller rink. And I mean, the arcade already makes a decent amount, but I mean, how many different things can you think of to do with a roller rink? Exactly. Yes, I'd love to do something new, but the question is, what?
Venue? I don't know.
She sort of shakes her head and kind of forces that thought down as she shrugs a little bit and just says, we'll see how it plays out. Absolute worst case, I have to change out the roller rink to something else. If I have to, I will, but I'm going to try my best not to. I mean, I built this place to be a roller derby rink in the first place. If I have to change that, then, I mean, it's not even close to what I wanted it to be when I bought this place. But there's only so much you can do.
It's fucking bullshit, Jackie.
I don't know what you want me to do, Chris. Unfortunately, I cannot just make money out of it.
Yeah, I just go think for a second. Like, yeah, unfortunately.
And she sort of glances down at her watch and kind of sighs and says, "All right, well, I've got a birthday to go do." They decided to book out the entire birthday lounge for Saturday. So I've got 3 cakes to go deliver, which is going to be a shit show. So you're welcome to stay all you want, but I gotta go do my job.
That's cool. I'm just gonna peace out of here.
Yeah. And she sort of pats you on the back and gives you sort of this small hug. and it's like, don't do anything fucking stupid.
You know me.
You only do stupid things?
Oh no, I never do anything stupid.
Uh-huh. And she sort of gives you a wave and starts to head off to the birthday lounges of the arcade. And I assume you leave the rink and you are free to go wherever you wish.
I'll just head to the skate park since the thought of the roller rink closing is upsetting. So going to the skate park and skating out our feelings, you know, smoking too. Gotta stay out of the parents' sight.
Right on. And I assume, do you? I don't think I ever asked. Do you typically skate there, or do you usually take the tram to get there? Because it is a pretty hefty distance.
If it's a really long distance, I don't skate. But if it's like short, then I'll skate somewhere. But if it's long, I'll just skate to the train stop.
Yeah. You make your way to the tram and get on. As usual, you never take your skates off, except for when you're at home.
My feet are so fucked up, dude.
As you get on the tram and it starts to make its way from the station, and you unwrist pocket your box of cigarettes and tuck them in the side of your bag so you have easy access to them.
Yummy, yummy cigarettes, dude. Make sure I put those at the bottom of the bag.
You have like an aura of Newport around you.
Aura of Newport.
Newport aura.
Newport haze, dude.
That's crazy.
Disgusting.
And as you take the train, we follow it for a while before we arrive at a church. And this is the Riverview Catholic Church of St. Paul, one of the few Catholic churches in the area. And we sort of cut into this. It's not necessarily dim. There is a great number of sort of these large stained glass windows. But the pews are empty, and no one is currently in the church, save for one person. And Elijah, if you'd be so kind as to describe your character. Make sure you're facing your microphone.
This way?
And speak with some purpose, boy.
Elijah is, he's a bit on the shorter end, just below average height at 5'7". He has lightly tanned skin, hazel eyes, and some very bright orange hair that he naturally got from his father. And he, even outside of church, he often wears something that closely resembles his church attire, as well as a red scarf.
Right on?
2 scarf wearers.
Whole scarf, dude.
Straight scarfing it.
Yeah, scarfing it. Wait a minute.
And you spend almost all of your time in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do you spend any time outside of it. And you spend most of your mornings, early mornings, 5 a.m., 5:30 in the morning, coming to the church and cleaning everything over and over and over again. Until either you feel that the church is as clean as it should be, or until you are kicked out by someone. And today is one of the few days that there is no one here. But I would say that this is about your 6th or 7th time cleaning up everything. Lighting candles, wiping down any of the stained glass windows you can reach, adjusting pictures and crosses that are on the walls, as you sort of find yourself standing at the front of the church staring at the empty pews.
Elijah just kind of looks across the empty pews, and he kind of makes a mental note of the usual people that come in and where they often sit, and especially the people who have not been in the church in quite a while.
Yeah, I would say at this point it's about 1 to 2 o'clock, and you are making your way out of the church at this point, making your way to head home. And as you do, you walk past a particular group of candles that you had lit about 20 minutes ago, and you see that one of them has gone out.
Elijah, he kind of looks at the candle, and he reaches out his hand but hesitates for a second, kind of looking at the glove that is covering it, before he just kind of runs his hand over the wick and it lights.
Yep. You sort of wave your hand over this candle, and you feel this sort of small burst of heat at the center of your palm as this candle lights. And I think there's a part of you that feels this sort of almost phantom pain in your on your hand as you do it.
Yeah.
But you know that pain isn't there. Just a memory that is far away, but still just as vivid as it was the first time. And you make your way out of the church. Your normal route home is normally you leave the church and walk through the botanical gardens on your way home. And as you do, you actually find yourself meeting Father Elias Bishop and Dennis Bishop on their way back from the soup kitchen. Elias currently has his sleeves rolled up, and you can see the tattoos on his arms, and Dennis is dressed identically to him despite not being a member of the cloth.
Hello, Father Elias and Dennis.
Elijah, it's good to see that you are here completing your normal tasks.
As always.
I trust the church is clean enough to your specifications.
Well, there are places that I cannot reach, but I've done what I could.
Very good. I apologize. He sort of gestures to his shirt. It's a little wrinkled in spots, but I apologize for my appearance. I was at the soup kitchen. I figured no better place to proclaim the good word than to those who are down on their luck. And you see that as he says this, Dennis sort of gives him a scowl.
Elijah, he kind of side-eyes Dennis. He doesn't like Dennis because of his... He takes a presumptuous position at the church, but he does still agree somewhat with some of the things that Dennis says. He looks to Father Elias and says, it would be nice to see some of them attend church every once in a while.
He nods a little bit, but just kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. There is no need to rush the work of God. All things will happen in their due time. Some of them may have been in some way harmed by the church. Some of them may simply not see the church as anything to benefit them. I do not see it as our position to fault them for whatever reason. It is just our job to continue to pray.
Elijah, He kind of nods, though he doesn't always agree with everything that Father Elias says. He still respects his position as a priest. And he says, well, I must get going home now. I suppose I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, he nods. As always, I am sure that you will be here well in advance from me. But it will be good to see you tomorrow morning as well, as always. And he pushes into the church. And I would say make a perception check for me.
This out of here.
Oh, my freaking dice.
Dice
dude.
is in the freaking way, dude.
Homosexual dice in the way.
Oh.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. It's still pretty bad. Where is it? It's a 9.
You aren't one to eavesdrop, and you never do. But sometimes eavesdropping happens to you rather than because of you.
Mm.
And you only catch the beginning of the conversation, as Dennis is not one to keep quiet. And all you hear is, "This is a waste of our time. It is better spent doing things that are far more important to us." And that is all you hear.
Elijah spends a lot of time in his head, kind of taking mental notes of everybody and who they are, and mostly their position or kind of beliefs and faith. But yeah, he kind of notes that Dennis, though he shares some of Elijah's own beliefs, is very loud and does not often do as he says he's going to.
Yeah, and you make your way out of the church and make your way to the usual botanical garden that you go through. And I assume that you probably normally go there with a sort of bottle of water that you use to water any of the plants that look to be particularly dry or in need of water.
Yeah.
As you walk through. And what is just kind of currently going through Elijah's head as he sort of finds this moment of solitude?
Elijah, he kind of briefly reflects on the use of his powers in the church. He sees them as somewhat as a gift from God, but to be used in a purposeful manner rather than, for small things like lighting candles. And he bends over, kind of kneeling next to a pond that is at the park, and he removes his gloves, which revealed large, kind of healed but still noticeably scarred third-degree burns that kind of streak from his fingertips down to his wrists. And he kind of reflects on the what he believes to be a punishment from God for the misuse of his powers.
Yeah, I would say that I think there is a portion of you that it is very small, but I think there is a portion of you that knows that you yourself will never be satisfied with yourself. That I think any usage of your abilities you see as not befitting of their manifestation. And I think there's a portion of you that, even though you tell yourself that the burns on your hands were a punishment, you feel that pain no matter what you use these abilities for, regardless of the reasoning. And I think there's a small portion of you that kind of accepts that there is no usage that you think will satisfy your own beliefs.
Yeah, Elijah, he often makes the connection to scripture of, it rains on the rich and the poor alike. And that, what some see as a blessing, others may see as a curse. But he sees it as both. That the pain from the use of his power is a necessary one, as a kind of checks and balances for its use.
Yeah. And I would say that you kind of, as always, you spend this time sitting in the garden thinking to yourself, sort of unpacking the things you did through the day and unpacking the things that you did the day before that, and the day before that, just sort of losing yourself in your own mind. And after a certain period, you hear the bells begin to toll at the church, and normally you see that as your sign to walk home. And as you do, we will use you to continue into our next portion. You approach your home and see these sort of large condominiums. That is the type of housing that most people live in. And as you approach, you see yourself looking at a car that you don't recognize.
Yeah, Elijah is he tries to kind of gauge where this car could have come from, and he first thing he does is he goes around the back to check the license plate.
Yeah, make a investigation check.
It's a 5.
Nice. Do you not have anything to do investigation?
That was a +1.
Oh.
Yeah, damn. You can bring this over here, like over there, if you need to. Because I know that rolling here is.
You normally don't keep track of the reasoning of why license plates or like the patterns. You just recognize what it looks like, what the numbers and letters are, and what the car is. And so all you see is just another license plate to memorize on this sort of small black sedan.
Elijah just makes a quick mental note that it's there, and it's strange, but no real connection as to, if it's, someone from out of state or out of town coming to maybe visit someone else in the neighborhood. And he just walks into the house.
Yeah. You... Let's see here. Walk up to the door, you pull out the one key that you have to unlock the door, and as you do, you sort of push the door open, and you are met with the sort of usual silence that your home creates. Just a second. Um, you. Let's see here. It's fine. You walk into your home, and it looks the same as it always does. Um, to you, it is just home, but to anyone from the outside looking in, it is almost medical in nature. Not in the sense that it is empty or that it is clean. It is arguably the opposite of that. It is decorated. It is, warm. The colors are made to match. Everything looks like it's where it should be, to the point that it is almost off-putting. Like if you picture in your mind where that particular picture goes, it is exactly where you would expect it to be. And to anyone from the outside looking in, you realize it is exactly the way that you think a house should look, to the point it is almost disconcerting. Almost as if it was attempting to imitate the idea of a lived-in home. There are pictures of you, of your mother and your father. There are pictures of you, and there is a great number of crosses on the walls of varying materials and sizes and designs. Some of them made of silver, some of them made of wood, but it seems that there is a great number of crosses used to decorate this home. And as you kind of walk in, we see each of these different pictures of you when you were young, you as you got older, and I think sort of as you got older, we see this sort of permanent scowl you have on your face begin to form at a young age. And we also see the pictures of your mother that all look uncannily similar, as if every single one was her copying and pasting herself into a photo. Her smile is always the same, her hair is always exactly the way it was in the previous photo. And you hear this sort of ticking of this large grandfather clock in your home.
Elijah, as he usually does when entering the house, he kind of makes his way into the kitchen, as his mom is usually in the kitchen or in some other connected room, dusting something. There's not usually much to clean, as everything is always in its correct place, but he kind of stands just outside the doorway to the kitchen, waiting for his mother to kind of acknowledge him.
You walk into the kitchen, and you are surprised to see that not only is your mother there, but your father is as well, sitting at the table with someone that you don't recognize. He is this sort of tall, pale, slender man who has this sort of wild, dirty blonde hair. And he has these sort of almost piercing blue eyes that seem to almost glow. And he's dressed in this sort of very professional suit with a bright blue tie. And I would say that you can see very well that he has been sweating for a while, just sitting at this table in relative silence.
A little nervous?
As you approach, and your mother sort of turns her head to look at you. Elijah, glad to see you've made it home on time.
Of course, ma'am.
If you'd be so kind as to have a seat. This man has brought some very interesting information to us that I think it would be pertinent for you to sit and listen.
Yeah. Elijah walks over and quickly sits in the chair and just kind of looks at the man sitting across the table and says nothing.
The man starts to open his mouth to speak, but you hear your mother speak before him. This is Jeremiah Salazar. Supposedly, he works for the Blackwell Research Institute. And you see he sort of nods a little bit and lets her finish as he sort of realizes that she introduced him for himself, as he sort of, yes, I work for the Blackwell Research Institute, more colloquially known by the people who work there as the Institute for Kinetic Research. It is a research institute that is done primarily for people with abilities like yours and mine, he says as he sort of glances at you and your father.
Yeah, Elijah, he knows that he inherited his ability from his father, and he sees he kind of sees it as a passed down responsibility, from God to this kind of lineage. But he just kind of nods and stares at Jeremiah Salazar.
He continues as he says, originally we were primarily a research organization. It was primarily for finding people who had abilities like ours, studying them, processing them, essentially doing our best to understand the ways abilities functioned, and so on and so forth. But up until I think about earlier this year, we have opted to take a different approach. And you see that he, at this point, takes a business card and slides it in front of you. And on it, it reads, the IKR Youth Training Initiative. Put simply, the standing CEO of the Research Institute, Professor Blackwell, has seen fit to offer a school for those who are of the youth that have abilities like ours that were not able to complete their education. And you see that as he says this, your mother furrows her brow a bit. I have been homeschooling him. What do you mean, not completed his education? He sort of blinks a few times, a bit confused, and pulls out his phone and looks at some information. I see. I was told that he had not completed a high school graduation and was therein, put simply, not in any position to begin education for a GED. And you see your mother sort of... It's very rare that you see her look a bit confused or befuddled as she sort of blinks a little bit and shakes her head. Besides that, it has become more and more difficult for me to maintain the education of my son. You said that there will be other students attending this school that have abilities similar to him, correct? And he sort of nods. Yes, it should be about 19 students, give or take. It will all be done on campus. Everything will be to... What?
It was lagging a little bit.
Well, it pans. It pans my page.
No, I know. It was panning slower than usual.
No.
Should be alright though. Looks
All of the education will be done on campus to prevent any sort of miscommunications with the public about students leaving and returning to a research institute. Primarily, we are here to receive permission or information from the parents who are interested in this program, and if you are not, that is perfectly fine, and you will be more than welcome to continue the education of Elijah here. And she takes the business card from in front of you, and you see that Jeremiah sort of winces a little as she does, as she takes it and looks at it. Will I be able to remain in contact with this Clifford Blackwell? And you see Jeremiah sort of nods slowly. His contact information should be on that business card if you, for whatever reason, need to get in contact with him. And she sort of nods. And is very quiet for a minute before she speaks again. Elijah, I think this would be a very useful experience for you. Not only for perhaps an attempt to guide some of these uneducated children to the faith, but also for your chance to see what life is like for those who have chosen to deny the faith.
Elijah just kind of nods and says, "Of course, Mother."
She turns to Jeremiah and grabs a piece of paper and writes down some information and hands it to him. Feel free to email me any of the information that must be filled out for him to attend. You said that this school starts this coming Monday. That should be more than enough time for Elijah to prepare himself to attend. And you see that he nods a bit and opens his mouth to say something, but kind of glances at your mother and then you and just nods. I understand. Thank you for offering me the chance to speak. Mr. Blackwell will send all of that information over to you immediately once I have left. If you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy. No, I think all of my questions are answered, and any others that I do have to ask are not to be answered by you. So if there are any other things that you need from us, then you are free to leave. He Jeremiah sort of fiddles with his hands a little, but slowly nods and stands up. And kind of glances at you as he stands and tries to discern anything from your face, but I don't think there's anything for him to find.
No.
And
Yeah, bro, it's normal, dude.
he sort of nods and stands up. And thank you for being so willing to accept this program. And I hope I will get the chance to see you when I pick you up, he says as he turns to you.
Elijah just nods and continues to stare at him. As he knows very well that his mother dismisses everyone from the house.
Yeah, and your mother stands up with him and leads him to the door, and there are no other words exchanged as she closes the door and locks it. As she re-enters the kitchen, she sort of looks at the card in her hands and looks at you. I trust you will be able to uphold the way that I have taught you, regardless of whether I am here to correct you if you fail to do so.
Of course.
And I assume you will do your best not to make a fool of me.
Yes, Mother.
She hands you a piece of paper that she seems to have gotten previously, and it is a list of just sort of general packing things. And it also happens to have Professor Blackwell's contact information on it. Begin packing tonight. And tomorrow morning you will let Father Elias Bishop know that you will not be able to return to the church as often anymore. I trust that you will put all of your focus in completing this program so that hopefully once your education is done, you will be able to get a job that I deem worth your time.
Of course.
Are there any questions, Elijah?
No, Mother.
Good. You are dismissed.
And Elijah just takes his leave and goes to his room.
Yeah. Just real quick, I guess if you want to describe what your room looks like.
Yeah, Elijah has a very very basic room. There aren't really any decorations other than, crosses on the wall. And really all there is a bed, a dresser, and a bookshelf, which on the it's a bookshelf / desk, which has several Bibles, all of various translations, and notebooks. So many notebooks, all with cross references between the different Bibles, as well as some personal notes on beliefs and the like, but very, very basic room.
Yeah. I would say that this is probably one of the few rooms that your mother's tendrils have failed to permeate.
Yo, so evil.
Arguably for better or worse, as this room is clinical in the clean sense. There are very few things hung on the walls. There's almost no scuff marks on the walls or the paint. The floor is almost pristinely clean, and there are no rugs or anything like that. It is the epitome of sort of the college guy's dorm room, where there is the bare minimum of what is required to live in it, which is exactly the way you want it. And you grab one of the old suitcases from the closet near your room and begin to pack. Is there anything interesting or particular that you think you would do here?
Not really. Elijah mostly packs, just the various kind of church-looking attire, which is mostly similar. The biggest difference just being how it's fastened. And notebooks about his personal beliefs, and the most widely used biblical translation for Catholics.
All right. And I think with that, as you sort of begin your packing, I guess before we sort of leave, what is on Elijah's mind as he's sort of heard all of this information?
He is a bit taken aback by the, not only the announcement that there are apparently more people out there with these supposed God-given gifts, but that there are enough of them to fill a school. And I wouldn't say he's hopeful, but he is interested in seeing, more people like him who have a strong sense of purpose and the abilities to fulfill it.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that you've kind of even really been given a hint of slack on your leash, put simply. And I think there is a portion of you that has been sort of chained down for so long that I think even for only a fraction of a moment, you do kind of find yourself almost excited in the curiosity of what you will see. But it is dashed away by the sort of normal, almost Pavlovian training you've received throughout your life.
Yeah.
And as you sort of pack, you sort of pan out from the window in your room to move to a different home. A home that looks relatively similar in sort of condominium style. As we see, let's see here. This one. As we see, no, not that one. Not that one either. We'll do this one.
Jam, which one is it, bro?
I'm sorry. We see Rena, who has just gotten off of her tram and has made her way to the front door of her house, or at least to the street across from your house. As you see a peculiar black sedan.
Have I seen this car before?
You have not seen this car before.
Okay. That's a little weird.
That's sassy, dude.
Based on my knowledge of all the true crime podcasts I've been catching up on,
Oh god.
what I'm going to do is snap a picture of this car and its license plate.
Make a investigation check at advantage.
It's gonna be really bad, brother.
I know nothing. 19.
You recognize this as a government plate.
Forgot to turn off motion capture.
Shit! It's all blurry!
You notice that it has a great number of sort of the more numbers than letters, and that is, for you, normally a dead giveaway that this is a government plate.
God, this is my dad's house?
Yeah.
God,
He's
what did he
murdered
do?
somebody.
Um,
Cook them.
okay. No, he made him kimchi.
No!
I'm going to go to one of my house, not mine, but my dad's house windows by the door and kind of try to peek in and see
You
what's going on.
see your dad is sort of a bit of a more stout man. He has this sort of shaved head, and he has he's another black guy as well. But his
Alternate.
you recognize the sort of homely design of your home with the sort of big central kitchen that was specifically built by him. And you see him chatting with a sort of tall man that I described earlier that you would not know to be Jeremiah Salazar, who is currently very jovially talking with your father.
All right. He's not dead. Everything's all good. All right. I was gonna say, yeah, bursting in through the front door. Dad, Mom.
He sort of peeks his head out around the corner, and just gives you a big grin. Come over. He sort of waves his hands over to you, and he says, "Come over here real quick. This guy came by and has some very interesting things to talk about that I think you would be very excited to hear."
Oh. I'm gonna look at this man. Check him out.
Yeah.
What's he got going on?
Make a insight check.
10.
You get the sense that he is a sort of unprofessional guy that has been forced into a professional role.
Oh, one of these chumps.
He know.
Okay, I walked past that building. Would Rena have heard this in conversation working as, working part-time at the police station?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay.
Oh.
Start!
I think that might be off.
That was a sad little peek on mine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cody. Yours just wasn't that big.
Well, just so long as it's something that we can use. I can adjust them.
Bro.
You should have picked it up and then done it into the back end.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
No. Oh, look at the waveform.
Jesus.
That's our start.
That's disgusting,
We rub
dude.
tips, and then we start trickling.
Stop rubbing tips with people. Are you picking me up right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're fine.
Just want to make sure.
Make sure.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
So, you just asked about the thing, so... So, originally, essentially we've changed... The CEO has opted to change paths. Originally, our primary focus was to study, understand, and essentially get a grasp on how kinetic abilities function. But recently, Professor Blackwell has opted to change routes to offer what he refers to as a youth training program. Oh my god. Essentially offering a GED program for kinetics who have not been able to complete a higher level education, while also finding some way to use their abilities to enrich not only themselves, but their lives outside of school as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyways, my job was to go and see students and parents to get confirmation, send out information, that sort of thing. You have all the contact information for Professor Blackwell there on that card, if you see fit to contact him yourself.
Okay. Understood. And you had mentioned this is the institute, and you mentioned it's like school. Are there any expectations or any sort of like realities that we should expect within this? Like, is this going to be a regular school?
Essentially, yes. There will be a few things that will be a little bit different that will all be explained in better detail by Professor Blackwell than I can.
So this is going to be similar to a standard school with classes?
Yes. Essentially, the way that he intends for it to function is very similar to the sort of one class system where one teacher teaches you all of your different common core in a single classroom.
Okay, now if I remember correctly, you had mentioned something about this is going to be a dormitory?
Yes, it is going to be functioning in a dormitory style, where essentially you and all of the students will live on campus. We can't exactly have, teenagers leaving and coming to a research facility without drawing some unwanted attention.
Okay. How is this going to affect my part-time jobs?
That would be up for you to decide, unfortunately. There will be ways for you to earn money while you do work at the IKR, but any previous jobs you have are under your own wings, so to speak.
Okay. And I assume most of the paperwork has already been handled?
The paperwork will all be sent to your father, and he will fill everything out.
Just my father?
You say that, and you see he sort of furrows his brow a little bit. Yes, this was the only contact information we were able to find as far as we were aware, and from what I've been told, this is the only consistent guardian you have.
Going to give my dad probably the most nastiest glare I can come up with, in a way of just being like, what the fuck?
He sort of catches it in sort of the corner of his eye and kind of chooses not to look at you at the moment.
Okay. Well, for your information, Mr. Salazar, I also have a mother who is a legal, present guardian.
He seemed, although a bit surprised by the information, he does seem semi-understanding and is kind of choosing to keep this communication between you and him rather than your father. I understand. I will see to it that she receives some sort of information if you deem it important. I will let you know that our paperwork does only require one parental guardian's permission. If you would like both, I'd be more than happy to send it to her as well.
Yes, if you could, please. I'm gonna pull out a little piece of paper from my little, pen pad notebook and write down my mom's information and hand it to him.
Yeah. He takes it, and he kind of glances at your dad and shoots him sort of a knowing look. But at the same time, he also understands where you're coming from, as he sort of... Oh, goodness. He sort of nods and hands you another sheet of paper that is basically the collection of all of the things that you would need if you choose to attend. As he continues, once I have your parents' permission, you are more than welcome to attend, but one of the things that Mr. Blackwell has specifically asked for is your confirmation. They are giving their permission, but you are confirming if you wish to attend. Mr. Blackwell is very firm on the idea that you are all adults and you are free to make your own decisions regardless of what your parent believes. So,
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to stand up and dust myself off and try to stretch out some of my anger a little bit. Is there anything else I can help you with today, Mr. Salazar?
As far as I'm aware, there should not be. As I stated, you have contact information for Mr. Blackwell if you have any more pertinent questions. But other than that...
Great. I will be sure to contact him. If you could please make your way to the front door.
Of course. And he stands up, sort of straightens himself out a little bit. And I would say that you can see he is a tall guy. He is very tall. As he sort of nods and makes his way to the door and says nothing else.
Yeah, I'm gonna show him out. You have a good rest of your day, Mr. Salazar. And slam the door shut. Dad?
Yes.
What was that?
He came in with all this paperwork and explained that I was the primary information he got. He said he got some information on your mom, and
You didn't think it important to mention her?
it's not that I didn't think it was important to mention her. I figured she would already be okay with it, and that we didn't need to bother her with the extra paperwork.
This is an important decision that has to do with your guys' creation. This is a teamwork on both y'all's part. This is very important for her to know, and for her to be included in for such an important decision. Is this some sort of attack on her that you're using me for? Because we've been over this so many times, I do not want to be the main subject of your guys' issue.
You see that there are a lot of words that he is trying to put to speech, but none of them are coming out. I don't see you very often. We both know that. And I get it, your mom is well put together. And sometimes I just feel like I am not a part of your life as much as I'd like to be. And I suppose a part of me saw this as a chance to be there. I didn't mean anything by it to you or your mom. And I'm sorry.
I love you, Dad. I do. This means a lot. I'm sure, the world's big enough. I'm sure there are people with abilities like mine, but to be able to have a chance to develop and learn about what I have, that's really important to me. That I feel like you guys should put your differences aside for me. If not for each other. But at least for me.
Make a persuasion check. Make it an advantage.
You said advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. That is a 19.
You see his sort of nervousness soften a little.
Oh wait, sorry. 17. 17.
You see that nervousness sort of soften as he sort of nods a little. It's hard. It's hard. But you are right. I'll give her a call. I'll let her know, and I'll make sure that information gets sent over to her. From me, first. But you are right. I'm sorry.
Thank you. What's for dinner?
He sort of reaches into the freezer and pulls out a sort of like that you see in the in the grocery stores, that like foam sort of like half cup thing, and inside of it you see several fillets of like large fillets of salmon. I went down to the dock earlier today and they had a really good sale on some of the salmon. It was about to start going bad. So, seafood?
Yeah. That sounds good, Dad.
He sort of sets it down on the island and sort of gives you a sort of one-armed hug. But chooses not to say anything else. as he lets you go and starts working.
Just call me down. My dinner's ready. I'll be upstairs.
All right. And you head upstairs. What does your room look like?
My room is a little on the cozier side, a little smaller than what you'd think. But I have a like a bunk bed situation where it's not really two beds, but it's the one where it has the desk underneath.
The desk underneath with the bed on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are going to be like vines and plants everywhere, lining the walls, lining the shelves. You know, the ones near the window that I have right next to my desk bed.
Mhm.
Just all sorts of plants, as Rena is really into botany.
Mhm.
And she's going to have dark maroon walls and
Make sure you're talking into the microphone.
really, I'm still catching.
Okay. I was
She has really lush carpet that her dad, I think, expanded on for her.
Yeah.
You know, took a little bit out of the savings. Wanted to spoil his baby. Anyway, and then there are going to be a lot of string lights, I would say, that
yeah.
liven up the room.
Very like the first thing that came to mind was like very like fey in nature. A lot of greenery, very sort of
Nerd.
like yeah. Very very fey in nature. A lot of sort of like twinkling lights, very sort of almost mystical, but in a more comfortable sense.
It is, I will say, humid in that room, just to help the plants not be freezing.
And yeah, you are in your room. I assume you've probably got your laptop or whatever. And what are you doing? You've got some different pieces of information.
I'm gonna blast my true crime podcast. Shout out to Rotten Mango, I'm going to grab a suitcase from my closet, start packing. But I am gonna send a quick message to Mom through my phone. Hey Mom, sure you got the call from Dad. I really wanted you to include you in this. I feel it's really important that you should know. And you know, I want to know, like, are you going to be okay without me being your your student assistant anymore?
Yeah.
I know you love having me as your TA.
You get a text back that basically reads, "I've been doing this for longer than you've been alive. Don't worry about it." Followed up by just a very short and fairly curt, just "Thank you, I appreciate it." She basically sends something along the lines of, "I appreciate you talking some sense into him, although I hate to say that I see where he's coming from. But I do appreciate it, and I think this would be very good for you."
I'll text back, I think it would be good for me too.
And there's sort of there's a sort of pause where you see the little bubble pop up of her responding and then disappear and pop up again before you get a message that basically says, "Hopefully it'll give you a chance to make some friends."
I'm just hit by emotional wrecking balls right after the other. I'm going to swerve past that shit and text back. I'm really excited. You know, obviously I won't be gone. If you ever need help with your paperwork or, just want to hang out, just let me know.
She kind of responds to it with just a little heart, and says nothing else. If there's anything you wanted to send, you do have that email from Professor Blackwell. If there's any pertinent information you feel you'd like to get.
I feel like a lot of my questions were answered. It's going to be, fairly, essentially middle school. God, I said essentially. It's going to be like a middle school, where you had said it was like one teacher that teaches several subjects.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be easier to maintain. So I think all my questions have been answered.
Yeah. And you kind of start packing, and I don't know, is there anything else you happen to do in your room other than packing and going about getting prepped?
I think it would be important to head down to the police station and talk to the chief
Yeah.
to let him know I will be on a temporary leave.
Yeah. I think you'd probably do that the next day.
Okay.
We'll save that for Sunday because we're gonna do a Sunday for everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
But other than that,
No, just gonna
okay. Yeah.
listen to my podcast, draw, doodle.
I would say a couple hours later, you know, your dad calls you down for some sort of like seared, seared honey lemon salmon that he's prepped for you with some rice and vegetables and things like that. As we sort of pull away from this sort of late dinner to our final player, currently minding their own business, doing whatever she thinks she would be doing at the local skate park.
Yeah, you know, Chris is skating around, just killing time, smoking. Can't do it near home, so you know, trying to get it out now before she goes home for the day.
I would say you've reached the point where you're taking a short break, where you're just kind of sitting and just holding the cigarette in your hands as you watch a black sedan pull into the parking lot, and this very tall man get out of it. As he walks over, he's kind of looking around the skate park. There's not many people here, one or two maybe, besides you, and he spots you and approaches and kind of knocks on the gate behind you. I'm looking for a Crystal Jones.
It's Chris, and yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, is that like a birth name thing? Is that like I'd say this because I want to get it right. Is this like a gender thing? Is this just your nickname?
Don't make your head explode, man. It's just a nickname.
I'm just clarifying. I like to make sure. He sort of walks around and kind of pulls open the gate to sort of approach you and kind of holds his hand out for a handshake.
Is he wearing a watch?
He is not wearing a watch.
Does he have anything on his hands?
He's not the kind of guy that would.
I would say that you
That's
do
fair.
you do see that he does have a silver ring.
I'll go out and shake his hand. However, after while I'm pulling away, it's discreetly wrist pocket.
Okay.
His ring.
Make a sleight of hand check, and it's going to be contested against his perception.
I think fucking dice out. 17.
You go to make this ring disappear from his hand, and you feel your entire arm tense up, almost like someone has put a shock through it, and you find that you cannot let go of his hand. I would appreciate if you give me that back.
What are you talking about?
My ring. It may surprise you to know I knew about what I was getting into.
He ain't no rookie. He ain't no chump.
Okay.
You
Yeah. Give it back then.
Yeah. And you find that your hand is able to release from his. As he sort of reaches into a pocket and hands you a business card that does not have his name on it, as he begins his sort of spiel of, my name is Jeremiah Salazar. I work with the Blackwell Research Institute. I'm sure you've seen them previously a bit of a ways downtown.
Yeah, you know, shady government stuff.
That sounds about right. Funnily enough, to the people who work at to the people who work at the Blackwell Research Institute, that is not what we refer to it as. We refer to it as the Institute for Kinetic Research. Essentially, studying people like you and I that both have inhuman abilities. Initially, the Research Institute was put together for the study and understanding of people with abilities like ours, but just earlier this year, the standing CEO decided to alter the path that we were going down, instead opting to offer a GED program for students who had not completed their higher education that had abilities. I originally went to see your parents and was almost immediately told that they would agree to whatever you said, and I was directed to this skate park.
I'm sorry, so you're just telling me this random stranger in a government vehicle that I've never met before that just claims to me that they've seen my parents and that my parents said, oh yeah, sure, you know, just go talk to her who's, you know, alone
So
in a skate park.
I mean, first question, does that really sound like something they wouldn't do?
I mean, no, but
Okay, second
listen.
question. Why don't you just call them? Or text them, whichever. I believe me, I do fully understand exactly how shady it looks, but to be fair, it is kind of shady. So I'm not particularly saying it's not shady, because it is. So
this is a GED program?
Essentially, that is what it is, yes. Essentially, it is a higher education program, not only for you to complete any education that you may not have done, but also for people with abilities to be able to find a way for them to use their kinetic abilities, which is what they are referred to as, to better themselves and their life after education.
So, is this like normal school, or?
Essentially, it is basically a standard school education, but there will be a few things relating specifically to your use of your kinetic abilities.
So, am I gonna like be like experimented on? Because this is like a government agency.
No, we got past the experimenting on people a while ago.
Is that like a joke thing that you're trying to pull here, or?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Whew. 22. Natural 20.
Damn.
Yeah.
It is a joke and it isn't. He said it in a way where you kind of recognize that they did experiment on people. Now, whether or not it was against their will is very unlikely.
I'm sorry, and what is your name exactly? I don't think
Jeremiah.
you ever said that.
Jeremiah Salazar. I said that when I approached you.
Okay, Jerry.
All right, so that's what we're doing. Okay.
Jerry Salazar.
All right.
Yeah.
It isn't. You see that he sort of mumbles to himself and like has to physically calm himself down.
Sorry, did I struck a nerve there?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not the school type, so I'm gonna need some real convincing.
You can get paid.
Okay. How much are we talking? Is this hourly or a salary?
It is essentially it is on commission. I'm not at liberty to disclose anything else past that, but I can tell you that that is something you will be able to do, and you will be able to work alongside other people who have abilities like yours.
And
And it's
where
free.
is it? Okay, and
Forgot about
the
that
school
part.
is at the government institution.
Yes, it will be all done in a dormitory style, so you will get your own free living space.
Do I have to live with somebody?
You do not.
Thank
it will
God.
Be individual rooms. They're not large.
Kitchen?
Kitchenette. There's a community kitchen.
Bathroom?
There is a personal bathroom.
Thank God.
Gotta get the essentials.
It's put simply, this program is being subsidized by the local government to essentially keep kinetic youth from finding that the easiest way they can make money with their abilities is crime.
Uh-huh. Okay, I guess I'll think about it.
That's
Am I like, do I have to do anything, or?
essentially the way it works. Is currently we are immediately sending paperwork to your parents, regardless of whether you agree. But all they are signing the paperwork for is permission. Essentially, Mr. Blackwell, the person who is running the program, has stated that it is his prerogative to make sure that it is your decision to go.
Look at the card that he gave me, and I'm like, his first name is Clifford.
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Is he big? Is he red?
Is he red?
Is he fluffy?
Is he a dog?
You know what? You take a bean. We got beans now. You take a bean.
What?
You both take beans.
Bro.
You both take beans. Those beans will be something we go about later.
That's stupid.
Give me my
dude.
motherfucking bean.
You both get beans.
I got bean.
Dude, we got,
Okay,
look at all
Joseph.
these beans we got, dude.
Yo, Joseph. Give me some time to think about this. I'm gonna go home. My smoke is over. Let's take a cigarette. Whatever.
Yeah. He sort of glances at it. You do know that shit will kill you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough. And he fully shrugs it off. And you watch as he walks past, he stomps out your cigarette for you.
You know what else will kill you?
What?
Probably go into children's place in an unmarked vehicle.
Unfortunately, we can't exactly. Unfortunately, we cannot advertise what we're doing.
You can end it there. Instead, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'll see you in your white van. Whatever. Oh, when am I getting picked up, or?
Assuming you agree, I will be around to pick you up Monday. That is when school classes will start.
What time?
Early. I should be around by about 7:30.
You should trip him on the way out.
So right. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in your white van later.
Okay.
Please have some candy for me.
You can tell that he is grinning a little bit as he just shakes his head and pushes open the gate and begins to make his way out.
I'm gonna like trip him. Try to trip him.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Oh, I got another 20. Okay. 23.
23.
Yeah.
You create this and you watch him stumble a little bit, and as he does, you watch him take his hand from underneath his arm and point it at you, and you see a little scorch mark on the ground by your foot of just this burning, like, charred coal on the ground. As he says nothing, he continues to walk.
Did he also get 23?
Both got 23s.
Wow.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, he has a +5 to his dexterity.
Damn.
Holy fuck.
That's the whole thing. That's his benefit. That's what he's good at.
Well, okay.
But yeah, he gets in his car and he drives off.
Can do that.
Oh,
right.
Jerry. All right. Well, I guess I'll text. Hold on, I'll pull for
Well, I was
them.
gonna say, do you want to text them or do you want to go home? Because we can also do. I kind of
I'll
wanted to do
just
a
go
go
home.
for
Go home.
Okay. First, I'm gonna go take a piss. I've been drinking a lot of water. I need to keep my throat. Anyways. Okay. And you said you make your way home. Right on. You get to your home, and your parents live in. It is kind of hard to discern the difference between a condominium and a apartment, but you know at least that they live in an apartment building.
Okay.
And as you approach, you see your home. How are you getting in? All you.
Bust in. I go, "Hi, Mom," and they both go, "Hey." And I just kind of.
I was gonna say it's just you. You don't get
Oh,
to
it's
play
just
my
me?
NPCs.
Okay.
I'm the NPCs.
I go, "Hi, Mom," to both moms.
You pull the door open and you close it, and as always, your house looks like a wreck. You see shoes strewn all over by the front door. The
Fucking
walls are
hockey
all
stick in the middle of.
there's all sorts of these paintings all over the wall. From I forget your mom's name, unfortunately.
Here, wait, I got it. One of them's name is Beth, and the other one I can't remember.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember who the other one is, 'cause I think the other one is the important one.
Germ.
Germ. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's her name.
Her name's not Germ. Hold on a second.
'Cause I don't have your info.
Liliana is the nurse, and Beth is the artist.
I was wrong. All over the walls are just these large art pieces that are Beth's creation that are hung up on the walls all over the place. And you see right next to the front door is sort of that bay window area where your mom paints. And you walk in the door and you sort of announce yourself, and you watch as your brother sprints past you, almost knocking you to the floor, with his arms fucking outstretched wide, as he's just and your mom is sprinting behind him, trying to get pajamas on him, as he has just finished taking a bath.
Or was he naked, dude?
No. As she is just stumbling behind him, like coming down the stairs, like, you need to stop running! And she kind of steps past you and ruffles your head. It's like, welcome home, and immediately begins to start chasing behind him, as you see your mom in the kitchen, working on a microwave dinner.
Okay, I walk into the kitchen. Guessing this is where Liliana is, right?
Yeah. No, Liliana was the one chasing your brother.
Oh, okay.
Beth is currently in the kitchen. She just had a microwave dinner that she is eating right now. As she sees you come in, she sort of holds her arms out and gives you a hug. I assume the weird government guy came by and talked to you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That was an interesting conversation, but me and your mom both figured that it was probably best for you to decide on that before we did it.
What did you guys say?
I think you know what we said, but unfortunately, considering that we're not paying for anything, we don't think it's right to force you to go for you to not do anything. So, we will sign off on all the paperwork you need if you want to go.
Cool. What's your opinion, though? I know your opinion.
She's quiet for a minute before she talks. It's hard for us as people who don't have abilities like you do to be able to think of a way that you can put them to good use. And me and your mom both think it would be a good idea for you to be someplace where you might have a second opinion that may be far more educated than ours. and we think that would be a very good place for you to learn how to put them to better use.
Just hate school.
Believe me, I did too,
Yeah.
but I trucked through it and got it done and over with. Because college is all on you. If you want to go to college, go ahead. But if you don't, neither one of us is going to force you. So all you have to do is fight through the GED portion, and you're done.
Okay, I guess I'll do it. I guess if it's a good idea, I guess I'll do it. I don't have anything else to do. This tournament's over, so.
Yeah, you say that, and Liliana kind of comes in and gives you a hug from behind you as she managed to grab your brother and is now pulling him by his pajama shirt. And Beth kind of asks you, how did the tournament go? Did you guys win?
Yeah, we won.
How close?
It was close, but we pulled it out in the end.
Well, a win's a win, so
I guess.
that's good. Well, what do you mean you guess? Normally you're a lot more excited to win.
Yeah, but it was close. That's the thing. I like to win by a landslide, so.
Well, not everything can be a landslide, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, Jackie is saying that she might have to close down the rink. It's not making her any money, so.
Liliana lets go of your brother and kind of turns you to face her. And you see genuine worry in her eyes. What do you mean?
Well, not as many people want to rollerblade or roller skate anymore, so she's not making any money off of it. She might have to use it for other things, basically.
Liliana kind of sits down at the table and starts to poke at Beth's microwave dinner as she has kind of forgotten about eating it in the first place. As she kind of sits back. Well, that was our one way to keep you out of trouble, so if that closes, we've got a problem.
Damn. Is that the only thing you guys can think about at this moment?
No, I'm teasing you.
Uh-huh. Right.
That roller rink's been around for a while. But, I mean, truthfully, I didn't really expect it to last as long as it did. But it's unfortunate to hear that she thinks she may have to close it down or change it up.
Yeah. Sure is, isn't it? I guess I'll just have to go do commissions or something like Mom points to Beth.
Yeah. Liliana sort of furrows her brow a little bit, and when you say that, she kind of leans closer to you, and she sort of, before she leans back. What are you using those commissions to pay for?
Just roller skating stuff?
Roller skating stuff
Yeah, like
in the non-smoking building that you have
How is
come
the skate park? Well, probably a lot of people smoke.
close enough for it to be left on you.
Yes, you know. Well, like guys that smoke and skate, you know. It was a busy day there.
I'll ask you one time, then I won't ask again. Were you smoking again?
Oh, was it smoking?
Make a deception check.
That's a 2.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Is that 2 total?
No, it's a 3 minus 1.
Wow. She sort of narrows her eyes at you and make a dexterity saving throw.
Shit! 17.
She immediately you catch her in time as she launches her arm out to reach for your bag.
Whoa! It's not in there, trust me. There's something in there.
What's not in there?
Nothing's in there.
Because you're lying to me. I know you're lying
No,
to me.
it's just skating stuff.
Look, if you think I've worked at a hospital for as long as I have and cannot tell when someone is lying to me about doing something stupid, I can see it.
It's just skating stuff.
You see that she turns to Beth and kind of gestures to you, and Beth is just kind of like, "Give me the cigarettes."
What cigarettes?
Give me the cigarettes.
And like slowly zip open the duffel bag. And I wriggle around to the bottom of the bag, just put it at the bottom. And I find it, and it's all like crushed and fucked up.
Yeah.
At the bottom. Like, fine, here.
Yeah, she takes them and just kind of, come on, really? One of your moms is a nurse,
Uh-huh.
and you want to get into something that will most likely kill you?
I don't do it often.
Doesn't matter if you do it often or not, she says. As she sort of leans behind her and tosses it into a trash can. It's a waste of money. It's gonna kill you.
Me throwing away was a waste of money.
Buying them in the first place was a waste of money. We've told you this. We'll tell you again. We're not going to stop you, but that doesn't mean we're going to let you either. You need to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you come home and you have lung cancer, we're not going to feel all that bad for you.
Right. Well, this has been a lovely conversation, but apparently I need to pack for this, so, you know, I'm really tired, so.
I would say that you probably get ready to start to turn around, and Liliana grabs your bag with you, like your arm's still wrapped in it, and yanks you back, and they both just wrap you in a really big hug. We're really glad you're going.
Yeah. Whatever. Hate school. I hate school.
Yeah, your moms both let you go, and Beth sort of ruffles your head a little bit and lets you head up to your room to start packing.
All right, I enter my disgusting, messy room.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to describe what exactly your room looks like?
Yeah, so the room, it's quite messy. A lot of clothes everywhere, lots of like skating stuff, lots of sketches for artwork and stuff. It's kind of all over the floor. And I have like a twin-sized bed. It's kind of messy. But there's a theme of kind of space going on. Like on the ceiling, there's like those glow-in-the-dark stars. And a desk that is covered in like stickers and scratches and stuff like that, and drawings, like the stupid S drawing that everyone does. And yeah, it's just generally just like number one word would be messy.
Yeah, it's just kind of very much just kind of cobbled together. But yeah, you start throwing your stuff together. Is there anything else you'd want to do while you're in your room?
In my desk drawer, underneath a bunch of stuff, is another pack of cigarettes that I put into my bag at the bottom of my bag. And I throw a bunch of other clothes and stuff on top of it, and just haphazardly packing this duffel bag full of stuff.
Yeah, right on. And yeah, I would say that you kind of get yourself packed up and ready to go. I don't think there's anything you would need to do Sunday. I think you would just kind of spend most of your
No,
time
just
doing the
fucking
normal
around.
things. Yeah. So there's one thing we'll do for you, but we'll do that after. We will jump to Cody, who would be the first person awake.
God damn it. Elijah gets ready as usual, dressed in his church attire. And he just makes his way downstairs.
Right on. Your father is up and awake, but does not plan to leave as soon as you do. Normally, you are the one that leaves the house first on a Sunday morning. Your mother is still currently asleep as he kind of glances over at you. And speaks. Would you like to walk with me to church this morning?
Elijah doesn't usually talk to his dad, and so even though it's kind of a strange thing for him, he just kind of looks at his dad and says, yes.
And this is the first time you've seen him up and ready, and he seems to be willing to leave on your time rather than on his, as he walks with you. And I think a lot of the walk is spent relatively in silence. But after a certain point, he finally almost musters up the courage to speak. I am glad you are getting a chance to experience life outside of our home. I find that more often than anything is a gift rather than a curse to experience what the world is like.
Elijah just kind of nods. He though he still believes that, his life at home is the kind of best that there is possible, he kind of reflects on how different he is from most other people, and his family is from most other families.
I think you can tell there are a lot of things that your father wants to say, but I think you can tell that there is something keeping him from saying them. I do not doubt your mother at all, but I think it is important for you to be able to become the person you wish to be. And staying in our home all the time may prove to make that a bit difficult. I hope you will take this chance to determine who you are in the eyes of our Lord.
Elijah mostly just listens to his father and kind of deeply nods after hearing what he has to say, but he feels a sense of conflict between, what his father and, admittedly most other people see as a successful, fulfilling life, and what his mother sees as a as a proper and kind of more perfect living situation.
But aside from that, your father doesn't really say much else. Like I said, I think you're very vaguely aware that there are a lot of things that he wants to say, but is choosing not to say them. As he walks with you to the church, and he spends a good amount of time cleaning with you, doing the usual work that you do before mass. And I'd say about an hour or two afterwards, you do see Elias and Dennis both enter the church as well. Dennis mumbling something to his brother, which he promptly quiets him about.
Hello, Father Elias. It is earlier than usual for you today, but that's good to see.
There were some other things I needed to attend to prior to arrival here. But I am glad that it has allowed me to make more time to assist you with the cleaning before service.
Thank you, Father.
And I would say make a perception check.
16.
You do your best to retain everything that you see to memory. And so it is peculiar to you to see, as Elias is adjusting his sleeves, which he had rolled up prior to entering, a tattoo that doesn't look the same as the others that he has. That seems to be somewhat fresh.
Elijah makes a mental note, of course, but despite his more firm beliefs, he is a bit hesitant to call out someone like Father Elias on something like that.
Yeah. And I would just say, just for visuals, you sort of log this tattoo as essentially a circle of circles. There is 10 individual small circles in a ring around a shape that appears to be something akin to not quite a Celtic cross, but more so a sort of a weird modern approximation of a Celtic cross. But other than that, you choose not to say anything else.
Yeah.
And you go about your general church service. Is there anyone you intend to talk to or ask about while you're here?
No, I don't think so.
And so you begin cleaning and working as people slowly start to file in. You greet each and every one of them by name as they arrive at the church and sit in the pew, and Father Elias begins his sermon. And at the same time that is going on, we move over to someone who is spending their Sunday a little differently, who has woken up a little bit later than Elijah, but is curt with their time of being awake and is ready to go about their day. And so, what is the first thing you are doing, Miss Rena?
First thing first, I have to get all my ducks in a row. So I am going to go to the police station to speak with the chief and let them know I will be on a temporary leave. Use up my PTO, one might say.
I don't think you have that much PTO built up.
Well, that's true. I'm part-time. Agony.
Yeah, you enter in and you see one of the clerks kind of wave at you and wave you in and buzz in the door so that you're able to step into the office sections. You pass by a few detectives. One that you know by the name of Maria Lopez, who is who was one of the lead detectives here, who kind of leans out of her little cubicle and glances at you as you pass, and just says, "This is a lot earlier than you normally show up."
Yeah. I am going back to school, finishing out my GED.
You see that she sort of stands up and leans on the sort of wall of her cubicle. Huh. Hey. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. It was just it was a little sudden for me, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm just gonna go talk with the chief. Let them know I'm gonna take a temporary leave.
She nods and kind of glances down at her desk for a minute, and like as you're turning away to start walking to the chief's desk, she kind of waves you back down again and says, he's out this morning. He said he had some sort of meeting with someone. If you wanted to have me write something down, I can get it to him when he gets here.
Do you know when he's coming back?
It won't be until later today. He said it was something big. Some government things. You know how they like their meetings. As long as possible and taking up as much of our days as they can.
Yeah. Just when I need him. Yep. Perfect. I mean, in that case, yeah, if you could leave a note for me, you know, he can always contact me.
Yeah, she nods and kind
I'm
of
just gonna
walks.
start cleaning up my station then.
Yeah, she kind of walks
my
over
desk.
to the schedule that they have up on the wall for the people that cycle in primarily for the front desk position, and she kind of brings it over and is kind of looking at it. So, are you planning on just like calling it quits for now, or are you going to be here weekends? Believe me, the chief is not going to hate you for calling it quits while you're going back to school. If anything, I think he'd prefer it.
Hell no. I'm not gonna turn down an offered position. This is a great way to network and get a good reach towards every sort of opportunity I can. I'm sorry, y'all can't get rid of me that easily. Damn.
I was gonna say it's an offered position, which means you can always come back and take up the offer later.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna try to figure out my schedule right now. So I would say probably maybe a couple weeks just to get settled into school, see my schedule, and then I'll come on back. Don't you worry, I'm not leaving forever.
She takes the schedule and starts kind of writing some things down on a separate notepad. She's like, September. It's about early mid-August right now. Come back September. Let us know what you're thinking.
Sounds good.
Cool. She writes that down, and after she's kind of done writing it down, she sort of takes the paper and sets it down on her desk as she comes back to you and sort of helps you start kind of packing things up. Who are you doing the program with? The GD program?
Oh yeah. Shoot, hang on, I gotta pull up the card. It's at the Blackwell Institute. That's right. I guess from what I understand, they offer a kind of hush-hush GED program.
Make a insight check.
Insight, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. 3.
She kind of goes blank-faced for a minute. And looks around for a second and kind of leans in a little bit. She's like, "You're
I think you know what I'm trying to say. I can't think of a good way to say it. Let me guess. It's a government subsidized program that is working with the city.
Yeah, I'd say so. Is the I get it. Is the chief in the meeting with them? How coincidental that is? That would be kind of funny.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be honest. I don't really know what all I'm allowed to tell you, but me and a few other of the lead detectives know about the program.
Okay.
Is
Is there something I need to know?
No, nothing bad. Nothing bad. We've not heard bad things. We know why you're there. She sort of pulls you in close. It's like, I know what it means for you to be there, which is crazy. I never would have thought that you could, I don't know, do magic. We know.
Oh.
That's why I was trying to say it's a government subsidized program that's being assisted by the city.
Yeah.
We know. And so it's surprising. I'm legally bound to not tell anyone, so don't worry. If I do, I will be fired.
I'll die.
Permanently. I will never be able to get a job in law enforcement ever again. They were very clear about that. So, but it's still like, can you do magic?
Yeah, I can. It's kind of a surprise to me that there are a lot more people that are similar that could fill up, make a program.
It's so. She sort of sits down in this cubicle and kind of pulls you down, and you're both kind of just squatted in this little thing. She's like, "We've been working with Blackwell for a while. It may surprise you to know that people that have abilities like yours may not be super keen to make money a legal way. And so naturally, we can't just send anyone to go deal with them, because that normally doesn't play out well. So we've been working with Blackwell for a while to assist, to be able to send out people to help rein them in when they get out of control.
No.
So we've been working with Blackwell for a while.
I guess I'd be a pretty good middleman, huh?
She sort of grins a little and then kind of nudges you a little. And not to be weird, but he is kind of a looker.
Can't be much better than Father Elias, Miss Lopez.
She shakes her head and shh. Father Elias is a man at the cloth.
You know he's fine as hell. Okay.
I know he is, but you can't say things like that about him. He's a man of the cloth.
Elijah just spawns in and just goes, "What are you saying about Father Elias?"
Child
Father,
God.
not daddy.
But he's a pretty good-looking guy.
Trying to get with him?
Maybe I am. What are you gonna do about it?
Slide in first. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
Weird.
He's like 30.
This is weird.
Ooh, 30? Don't threaten me with a good time, Miss Lopez.
Excuse you?
More like a sugar daddy, am I right?
Excuse you? Either way, I'm getting sidetracked. We've been working with Blackwell for a while. Supposedly, they're going to be doing some sort of law enforcement assistant program. I don't know all the details. You were right. That's what the chief is in a meeting about. Law enforcement assistant program is the big thing that they're talking about right now. So I'll probably be seeing you around fairly often.
I hope so.
But I will let you know, they're going to pay you a hell of a lot of money for doing it.
Really?
Substantial amount.
Shoot. Maybe I can get myself a car finally.
Maybe. From what it sounds like, that's not too far off.
In this economy.
Okay. Is this... I guess by the tone you're talking, this is something I'm not supposed to be out loud with?
No. Absolutely not. I could lose my job telling you.
Oh, okay.
So, keep it down low. Keep it hush hush.
You know how I am.
Yeah, I do.
These lips are sealed.
Right on. But yeah, I'm sure the chief probably already knows because he has all of the names of everyone attending.
Oh,
So
well, like I said earlier, he can get in contact with me.
I'm sure he will. But yeah, you're all set. Don't worry about it. I'm sure once he sees your name on it, he'll get it. He's a smart guy. He can connect the dots.
That's why he's the chief.
Yeah. So you're all good to go. Is there anything you need me to do on my end for you?
Well, other than passing him that note and giving me more deets on Mr. Blackwell here, that'd be pretty nice.
What kind of deets are you looking for?
I think we've worked together long enough to know.
Get out.
What?
Get out of my office.
No!
Get out.
Oh,
Listen.
always teasing me, Miss Lopez. Come on.
he's
Can't
a-
give me the juicy deets?
No. Because that gives you a head up on me. I've been talking to him for a while. You were a teenager.
I'm of age.
Uh-huh. He's a 30-year-old man. Get out of my office.
Oh my god. Alright, well, guess I'll see you around, Miss Lopez.
I think I'll probably see you around too. Good luck. Stay safe out there. And I'm glad you're going. I think from the very little I've heard,
Glad you're gone.
from everything I've heard in the few meetings I've been in, it does seem like it's something that will be 100% up your alley.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it as just a way to develop not only, my powers, but myself as well.
It'll be good to see you go, and it'll be also good to be able to see you get to put those to use.
Thank you. Means a lot from you.
So get out of here. I got more work to do.
Okay.
The work don't stop.
You're right.
And she sort of nudges you out the door.
You're right.
Nudges you out the door and continues on back to her desk. And I would say on your way out, make a quick perception check for me.
Perceive perception, you say? Oh shit.
Perception.
That is a 11.
I'd say that's high enough. You normally have a tendency to keep up with a lot of like these sort of wanted posters and things like that are put up around the city. And you do see one that you've seen for a while on the corkboard in the office, which is of a man with a pair of goggles on, and very long hair.
You're Neptune.
Who it just says, "Be on the alert, Finnegan Pierce." You've seen it for a while, and you are surprised that it is still there.
Wow. Just are there I can see his face? They're just covered by his goggles.
Yeah, it's essentially it is a mugshot, but he has his goggles still on.
Okay. I'll just have to memorize the features.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out.
But with that, you head out. Is there anything else you want to do on this Sunday?
Well, already talked to my mom. I got my message to the chief. I think I'm going to I think I'm going to take a walk in the botanical garden.
Right on.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do.
I would say by this point it's probably about noon-ish. After sermon, where would Elijah end up going?
I think he would take his usual route to the nearby botanical garden.
Is there anything or anyone you'd be looking for in particular while you're at the garden? Both of you.
No, I have my earphones on. I'm just listening to a podcast, taking a walk.
Yeah.
Just admiring the beautiful
Scenery.
native plants.
Elijah is just kind of thinking more on the tattoo that he saw on Elias, but nothing else really.
Both of you make dexterity checks for me. We'll see who shows up first.
Dexterity?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Who's a faster walker?
None of you. I just roll up and draw
Just
but
T-pose your way through.
I got 8.
I got a 13.
Okay.
Damn it!
Yeah, Elijah, you were there first, just kind of in your own head, and I would say that you have your headphones in, so you don't really notice it until you're fully in. That Elijah, someone you've seen very rarely when you do go to the church, is currently there walking around the gardens.
You said I see Elijah?
Yes.
Okay. Is he facing towards me? Like,
No, he would.
am I in his line of sight?
He'd probably be looking at a pond or something like that.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna hide. I only see him at church. Like, just from the little interactions I've had with him, I don't want to be another conversation of when am I gonna go to church again. So I'm not gonna be the one to tell him that I'm only there to look at some eye candy. So
That's crazy.
That's
That's
insane, dude.
So, I'm not gonna like hide, but I'm gonna try to stay out of his line of sight.
So you are hiding.
We're not even in his line of
It's not like physically, like I'm not hiding behind a tree. I'm just making sure like I'm to his back at all times.
Okay. Make a stealth check at disadvantage.
Well,
Make a perception check. Perception.
what check am I making?
Stealth.
Stealth. Okay. 7.
I don't know what you add to perception, but I feel like I remember it being a lot.
I have +2. I'm at 11.
Damn it.
Yeah, you recognize that someone is here.
Elijah usually makes sure to try and seek out the less traveled parts of the botanical garden, and so upon noticing that someone's there, he gets a bit irritated and at least turns around to see who it is.
Made eye contact. Shit. Okay. Just gonna, pull one of my headphone things back. Kind of give a slight wave to Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah, he looks at you with his usual scowl before walking over. Says, Rena,
Whoa, he tells your name.
you haven't been at church since Easter.
I know. Good to see you too, Elijah. I actually was recently offered a position at the police station, so I just had a lot on my plate. How have you been? How's church?
Well, I'd like to see you be there more often.
You know what? I was just thinking the other day, man, I probably need to go to church. I think it would be important, as someone who is looking to be up there in the networks, I think it'd be good to connect with some of my peoples. People my age. So I think this is a good opportunity for both of us to get to know each other a little bit more. Wouldn't you think so?
I see.
Bro.
So what are you doing here around these parts in the botanical garden? I didn't really take you for one to be away from church.
Simply enjoying God's creation. Though this man-made park is a bit lacking in diversity of flora.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I am personally very into botany. I love plants. I do quite enjoy seeing the native plants here, but you are right. I think it could use a little bit of diversity. Do you have do you have a flora flower that you like? Particular one that catches your eye?
Um, Suppose always had an affinity for lotus.
The lotus flower. It's very beautiful. I quite enjoy the lotus flower as well.
Good one, dude.
Uh, what else can I talk about?
I was gonna say you don't have to talk about anything. You can leave.
I'm trying to make a connection. I'm trying to make a connection. Okay. How about this one for you, Elijah? If you had control over the park, how would you change it up?
Well, suppose I would have more pathways divided with more trees, so there are more sectioned off parts of the park.
All right. Very decisive. I mean, I guess other than Sundays, does the church have any upcoming events?
Not as of now, no. Well, I suppose there is one that the mayor is going to be attending, but it's nothing official.
To clarify, if we're talking about the same character, the soon to be.
Yeah, the soon-to-be mayor.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Hans
Kerbin.
Kerbin. Yeah, Hans Kerbin. I didn't. Well, I guess it makes sense. Trying to make all sorts of connections. I just wasn't expecting him to make one with the church. We're talking about the same one, right? The Saint Riverview.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Would you have kept that business card?
Yes.
We'll have two separate checks. Make a dexterity saving throw, and Cody make a perception check.
Saving.
Just add your dexterity.
Yeah. I do not have any.
Dang, too bad I don't.
Do
That is a 10.
Perception, right?
Yep.
It's a 6.
A gust of wind comes by, and you feel the business card in your pocket begin to flutter out. And before it manages to escape your pocket, you smack it down to keep it from going anywhere.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had a bug on me. Just
Oh yeah, and
my
I'd say you did not see anything.
adjust my trench coat. Well, a bit windy. you know what? This has been great, Elijah. Talking to you, getting to know you a little bit more. I think. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes. I actually just got into a GED program, so um, hopefully this Sunday, next Sunday, I should say, um, if I have the time, I would love to go back to church.
I should hope so. And I hope that your family matters aren't getting in the way of your devotion.
Holy fuck.
And Elijah just kind of turns around and starts to walk home.
He just says that and just leaves.
Do I always have to be the subject of a divorce?
And with that, I think, unless you had anything you wanted to do that Sunday, I didn't think you did. We will call our Sunday there. And our final interaction for this session, we will start once again with the person who is the earliest riser. It is about 5:30 in the morning.
He has risen, baby.
He has risen indeed! It is about 5:30 in the morning. You have been packed for about a day now. All of your bags have been sitting out front by the door. And you are currently sitting in sort of the living room, most likely just ruminating in your own thoughts and essentially just 1,000 yards staring into the wall.
Wow, with the eventful.
Yeah, Elijah's a bit uncomfortable. It's not being at the church immediately, but he recognizes the
He's having withdrawal symptoms from the church.
he recognizes the importance of being on time to something like this.
Yeah. And I'd say you're, as always, you were the first person awake, and you are up for a while before your mother comes down. And she regards you as coldly as she normally does.
Fuck you, son.
Elijah, it is good to see that you are packed and ready to go.
Of course.
I trust that you've not gotten any particular thoughts in your head about what this means.
Of course not, Mother.
Good. You are packed and you are ready to go. From what I remember, your taxi should be here in another half hour or so. I have important things to attend to, and your father is still asleep for now. So, good luck. I will be keeping in very close contact with Mr. Blackwell to keep up to date on your progress and your actions. Should I see that you are not acting in a way befitting of my family name, I will have you brought home.
Of course, Mother.
Good. Good luck. And she pulls her jacket on and walks out the door. And I'd say that you wait for a while, and eventually you hear a car pull up and honk just a few times, very shortly. And you kind of glance out the window to see that Jeremiah is standing in front of the car, a much larger black sedan.
Yeah, Elijah.
SUV, I apologize, thank you.
Elijah walks out the door and locks it behind him. And just kind of walks over to Jeremiah.
Yeah. Jeremiah opens up the trunk and lets you load things in, and you can see from the back that this SUV is built slightly differently, where there is a row of seats on both sides that are able to face each other. It is built more similarly to almost like those SWAT band type things, where there are seats on both sides that face each other with the backs to the windows. But there is enough trunk space for some bags, and he sort of assists you in putting the bags in, and lets you sort of organize them however you wish.
Yeah, Elijah makes sure he's got his one bag with books and journals, and the other bag with clothes and toiletries. And he makes sure to slide them all the way to the very back corner.
He, closes the trunk and presses a button, and the door sort of pushes itself open a little bit as he gets into the driver's seat. And as you are hopping in, you kind of glance up at your condo, and you do see your dad looking down from the window, and he just sort of gives you a very small wave. And you don't see it often, but he does have a small smile on his face. And you get in the car. And we will move to the person who is awake next. Rena, how do you intend to spend your morning with your dad, who has woken up at the exact same time as you, to make sure he is ready as well?
I'm gonna finish packing up my essentials. I had packed Saturday night, but it was just for stuff that I didn't need at the moment. So I'll just put the rest of my stuff, toiletries, a laptop I have for note taking, and all the essentials, of course, in my satchel: the notepad, a pen, pencil, gum, and gonna prep everything. I am expecting my dad to make his world famous, Rena Ryder famous, I guess not Rena Ryder famous, but his famous breakfast burritos.
Yeah, the ones he makes for you whenever you're off to go do something early in the
The
morning.
Clinton burritos, what he likes to say. He likes to put his name on everything. Get all my stuff ready. I have one earpod in, as usual, listening to music.
You kind of grab all your stuff and you kind of make your way down the stairs. And he is standing there with 1.5 burritos, exactly the amount that you typically ask for. 1 is usually not enough, 2 is too much. So he will always cut 1 in half and take the leftover half for himself. And has them both in just a little plastic bag. As he just sort of gives you this big, warm smile. And lets you get to the bottom of the stairs, and hands you the bag, and just kind of says, I'm glad to see you're doing this. I know I said it already, but I don't know, some part of it is one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to see you as often now, and neither is your mom, and it's one of those things. It's a parental thing where you see your kid go off to do something, and there's a lot of emotions tied to it.
Dad, are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
I see the tears in your eyes, Dad.
I'm not crying. I just put a little extra pepper in your burrito, and my eyes are still red. I'm not crying.
Dad, don't lie to me right now.
Here's your burrito. I'll help you take your stuff out to the car.
I'm gonna take the burritos and actually,
Scarf them down.
no, I'm not avoiding that. Omission is a form of lying, Dad. Come on. Be open. Be open with me. Come on. Bring it in.
He groans a little bit, and he sort of pulls you into this very tight hug. And he's not the type to sob, but he is crying a little bit. He's like, I don't even really know why I'm crying. There's really no point. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be down the street. I could take the tram to see you, but maybe it's pride. It's nice to see you doing something that I think you are choosing for yourself. It's not often you get to see your kid do that. It's inspiring.
Thank you, Dad. I love you.
I love you too. And he takes your bags out to the door just in time as you see this sort of large SUV pull up. And Jeremiah steps out and opens up the trunk and kind of waits for you and your dad to come in and start putting bags in. At which point, over the back of the trunk, you see this small tuft of red hair.
Oh. Didn't realize there were other people
Yeah,
coming with.
he sort of scratches his head and he's like, truthfully, we almost missed you and 2 other people. Our information channels aren't super open, so it can be a little difficult to kind of make sure we're getting everyone, because the government may like to look at people, but it's not easy to get that information. So it's you, our other rider, and 1 other person, and then we will head to the Blackwell Research Institute.
Oh, okay. Great. I'm gonna start putting my stuff gently in the trunk, neatly organized of the other side of the other person's things.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna open the door. I gently open the door.
Yeah. Jeremiah clicks a button on the remote, and the door pops open itself.
Oh shit.
To
Fancy.
to let you in, and you are met with a visage you saw just the day prior.
Oh, Elijah. Good morning.
Hello.
You know what that means.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. What you said yesterday, Elijah, was disrespectful.
Dang.
And I don't appreciate you bringing my family matters into my own choices of where I want to go. Okay? I was just trying to connect with you, get to know you a little better, because I know I don't go to church a lot, and I know that's important to you. So I want to connect with you through something that you take pride in. And for you to just take that and slam it in my face, I don't appreciate that. I'm not upset right now. I'm not mad. I just wanted to point out that wasn't cool.
Elijah kind of looks down and thinks for a moment and just responds with, "I'll take that into consideration."
Thank you. That's all I ask for. Even with all that, I'm still gonna sit opposite of him.
Yeah.
He just
I
has
would-
this aura
yeah.
of scowl that is like, it's contagious.
Yeah, I would say it's one of those things as well that, like, you are used to seeing Elijah as, just one of the kids at the church that is there all the time. And I think this is the first time you're kind of, even if accidentally or not like of their own volition, you are getting a peek behind the fact that they are not, that they have abilities similar to yours, despite the fact that you've seen them several times. And I think it's just kind of one of those moments of like, oh, well, wait a minute. As you kind of sit in this car, and Jeremiah kind of glances in the mirror as you guys were having that previous discussion, as he waits for you to sit and starts driving, but chooses not to say anything.
Man, I got so caught up in my words. I didn't really make the connection, but Elijah, what are you doing here?
I have business with this program. Apparently, they are gathering people who have been gifted with powers. I assume that they are doing the same with you.
Oh. Yeah, that was the GED program I had mentioned yesterday. Oh, shit. What?
Swear in front of him, man.
Language.
What? Please don't beat me.
No.
What ability do you have? What have you been gifted with?
I have the power to control flames.
Wow. Very not compatible with me. I am a.
Oh yeah.
Funnily enough, even though I am into plants, I guess life decided to make that true physically. I can grow plants. I have control over life and death. What was that last part?
Foley just glazes over that last part.
It's not like you're gonna walk up to someone and be like, hey, by the way, I'm a
Die.
necrokineticist.
Die!
Prey of enfeeblement.
Yeah, Elijah doesn't really say anything, but he just kind of glances over at you in acknowledgement of what you said.
All right, I'm gonna finish up my burrito.
You
Shove it in my mouth.
as Jeremiah begins to drive away, you arrive at one final home. And Jeremiah gets out of the car and leans up against it and waits. And waits. And you see him at this point starting to glance at his watch every few seconds.
I'm gonna knock at the window and like roll it down.
Yeah.
Who else are we supposed to be picking up? You said there was one more?
Yeah, there was one more. I'll be honest, I was fully prepared for this. They did not seem like the type to be timely. So, they should be coming out any second now. It's been about 5 minutes, almost 10. So, at this point, we're just waiting. I'll probably wait here for about another 5 minutes, and then we'll just bounce.
Oh, okay. Could you like knock on their door or something?
Part of me doesn't want to.
Ah.
The door busts open, and I yell, "What's up, Jeffrey?"
Not even close.
And I roll out in skates, even though it's really not convenient, but
You roll down the stairs.
never got used to that. And I got my duffel bag and rolled to the trunk. I said, "Pop the trunk,
Yeah, he sort of
Jacob."
he pulls out the remote and clicks it, and the door pops open, and you see 2 stacks of bags, very easily stacked on both sides.
Just chuck the whole bag in there.
You hear a mild clattering in the back, whether or not it's your stuff or just everything in her bag. You're not sure.
My laptop.
And then what's like the seating situation like?
Currently, so it is essentially, like I said, like SWAT band seating, where there is a seat on one side and a seat on the other. Currently,
So
I
you're
believe,
facing-
yeah, you use 2 benches facing.
Yeah, Elijah's on the very front driver's side, and Rena is on the very back passenger side.
So they are perfectly diagonal to each other. As your moms come out, and sort of Liliana readjusts your bag in the trunk, just kind of shit.
God damn it!
God.
Child.
Adjusts your bag and closes the trunk, and they both kind of wrap you up in a big hug, and you're like, all right. Very simple rules here. Do not hurt anyone.
Okay.
Do not get sent back. If we hear that you are smoking again, I will come and see to it myself that you have no more cigarettes.
Okay.
Do not hurt anyone.
You said that already.
I'm being doubly sure. Do not hurt anyone. Triply sure now. And try to enjoy yourself. And pay attention. Please, I get it. It's free, so you don't have to worry about any money. Please at least try to pay attention.
Got it.
And they wrap you up in a hug. I love you. Get in the car. You're already 10 minutes late.
Love you too. Bye. Okay,
And-
I'm gonna sit across. Yeah, like
okay, so yeah, you two are at the back. on
I'm
either
facing
sides.
her basically.
Yeah. And they both wave to you, and your brother is standing behind them, just waving violently. His whole body is shaking as he does. As Jeremiah gets in the driver's seat and starts to drive.
Hey, I've seen you before.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen you, so. Are you
I'm
some
sure
kind
you
of,
haven't.
Are you some kind of stalker or?
You're the type of place to avoid this kind of area. But just curious, where do you normally like to hang out?
The roller rink, the skate park, you know.
Uh-huh. Any other places
No, that's it.
you like to be around?
No?
So I'm just supposed to force it out of you?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So it is you. You're the one tagging the buildings around Redwater.
What?
I have
That's
seen you.
I just sat down.
That's no way to start a conversation. What
It's-
happened to Hella?
I just
Hi,
got
how are
here.
you?
I don't even know who you are, and you're making false accusations about me.
False
Wow.
accusations? I volunteer at the soup kitchen. I've seen
You don't even
skate
know what my
around.
name is.
You're wearing skates.
and
There is only one other person I've seen that wears skates.
sure.
And it's not in Redwater.
Uh-huh. You don't even know what my name is, so how would you know what it was my tag? If I could
I
even
may not know
tag
your
things.
tag, but I've seen you graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
You know we're trying to fucking make construction protests about that around that area, don't you?
It's kind of a shithole anyway, so.
We're trying to make it better.
And I'm making it better, honestly. So-
you are not.
Yeah. Yeah. You just don't appreciate art.
All right. I guess I can't really do anything.
What a great introduction.
I don't even know how you haven't seen me, honestly.
Uh-huh.
Either way, I'm Rena. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. Is that a nickname?
No, it's my name.
Chris.
You see Jeremiah glances back. No, it's not.
Don't listen to Joseph here. He doesn't know
That's
what
not her
he's
name.
talking about. You can't
Okay.
claim that Chris is not my name after.
I have legal access to your birth certificate. I do in fact know that is not your name.
Well, okay, I'm not trying to like drill her out immediately. Like,
Kind of feels like you are. I'll be honest.
I mean, you're fucking up the area. You're just making it worse.
I'm not though. I'm not the one drawing like penises and balls around.
It's not you.
I am graffitiing art. Okay.
I gotta figure out who's been doing that.
Yeah.
Miss Gloria. It's not fun working with her when she's mad. But, well, Chris, I'm not trying to go all out. If Chris is what you want to be called, that is fine. That is your name. I respect that.
What's up with this guy?
This is Elijah. I know him through church.
Ugh, church. What, you like a Christian or whatever?
Catholic.
I don't even know what the difference is. Anyways, well, what's I know why we're all here. What's what can you do?
Oh, I have control over life. And us.
What was that one? What was that last one?
Oh, nothing.
Life and
Life and plants.
Make a
isn't
deception
that
check.
also considered?
Huh?
Make a deception check. Make an insight check.
Take it. Okay. You said deception?
Yep.
What's my deception? God damn it.
Fired.
That is a.
No, it doesn't count if it's on the floor.
What does it
Roll that
count?
shit again.
That shit don't count.
Oh,
13.
That's crazy because I also got 13.
roll again.
Shit.
What was the higher modifier?
17.
What's wrong?
19.
Oh my god!
Zero.
You know exactly what she said.
And death, huh?
Ah, you have good hearing.
Yeah. What's up with the church boy over here? What can you do?
I can control fire.
Nice.
Well, what about you?
Well, might be too complicated for you. But,
Complicated? Excuse you?
I can control space.
Okay, that's a little complicated.
Yeah. But here, I'll put my hand out. Are you wearing anything? Do you have like a watch on or anything?
No.
No, you don't have anything on your wrist or like any rings?
No.
Anything? Fuck. Shake your hand anyways.
I just got like
She's
a
got
chains.
glasses on.
Like,
Well, my glasses are on
Take it.
chains, so it looks like earrings, but it's just chains. That's all I got.
You pull out one of the boxes of cigarettes that you keep in your wrist pocket at all times.
Oh yeah, I just flip that out.
You can't smoke in here.
I'm not smoking. It's just a box.
Why are you
It's empty.
really? An empty cigarette box that you carry around with you at all
Carry
times.
around.
It's
Yeah.
empty. Everyone just staring at her.
It's empty. Nothing in it. I just like to pick up like thing, like a lost and found thing, and just pick up things off
Make
the
an
ground.
deception check. Make an insight check.
Insight?
Yep.
What am I doing? Deception. Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
that's so bad.
It is a. You said insight? 10.
8.
It is definitely not empty. You can hear things shaking around in it.
Okay. The funny thing is about
who
that.
steals so much, you're not very good at lying.
You're really bad at lying, yeah.
So the funny thing about that is you say it's empty, but I hear it not empty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant like it doesn't have cigarettes in it. It has like
Do
rocks.
not make me make you another deception
It's
check.
got rocks and shit in it.
Candy in a cigarette box. Okay,
Yeah, you know.
interesting. All right,
I like to confuse people, you know.
right.
And I just start playing with the window, like opening and closing it.
So so Jerry, didn't know you like to collect a lot of kids here.
That's fucked up. That's foul.
I'm yeah. So, I think I'm gonna try to just like discreetly put a cigarette in my mouth and light it.
That's awful.
Oy.
Just like you stretch and you're like,
Yeah. Just opens up the cigarette box and wrist pockets one cigarette from the cigarette box, and then wrist pockets
500 cigarettes.
and then wrist pockets and lights it.
hey, bean, it's a bean
What?
to yourself.
I don't get beans.
Get a
Fuck you.
bean,
I don't
bro.
get beans.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do just that.
You're lighting a cigarette?
Yeah.
You were like getting ready to light it, and you do see Jeremiah staring at you from the driver's seat. Don't do that. No. Stop. 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 I'm
Elijah
serious.
is gonna wave his hand and prevent the lighter from lighting.
So, like, all I imagine is, like, the feeling of, like, you try to get a lighter to turn on and it won't do it, and the first few times you're like, alright, I'm gonna mess with them, and
Yeah,
then,
it
like,
won't. It won't even spark.
yeah, like, the third time you're like, okay.
Okay, I'll put it away. I'm like, fine, guys, fine. I saw a bunch of fucking
You just can't smoke in the car when there's people in the car.
fine. Is Elijah wearing anything besides gloves?
Wearing clothes.
Just
I mean,
gloves.
No, I mean
Just
like on your
gloves.
hands.
no.
I guess you can wrist pocket a glove. I don't really know how that works.
I don't actually think you can. I don't think you're allowed
think
to
you can
wrist
wrist
pocket
pocket
things that
things
are
that
being worn. Yeah.
Technically, you shouldn't have been able to wrist pocket Jeremiah's ring.
Nah, I believe it. It's funny. It's silly.
It's silly funny.
There's some general rules of cool that are okay.
This is a city. This is a danger.
But yeah, if there's anything else you guys intend to talk about while you're on your way, if not, that's fine.
So can you like grow like I don't know, like any plant or like
I know when I first, I guess when they
Opium,
first started
opium,
to
opium,
develop, I
opium,
was
opium.
able to do like a thorn whip. But after that, I realized I've been able to grow a lot of flowers. You know, either from my hand or I can grow them out of anything particular.
have you ever killed anything?
I don't want to talk about that.
So not no.
Well, if you want to see what I can do, then just like give me an object. It'll be the easiest thing for me to
okay.
demonstrate.
I'm gonna.
The half a burrito.
No, it's not like a burrito. Okay, I'll. I don't really have anything on me
There's
because
a
all my stuff's in
plastic
the bag.
bag that burritos are in.
Shoot, yeah. All right.
Just crumble
I'll
up.
hand Chris the plastic bag from the burritos I had.
Really, a plastic bag?
That's all I have on
It's
hand
like
right now.
moist too, from the condensation of the whatever was in
Did
here.
you spit in this?
My dad just made it. Okay.
Made what?
My burrito.
Oh, do you have any more?
No.
Dang. Okay. I hold the crumpled up plastic bag in my hand, and I go, and it disappears.
Oh. So where is it?
Up your ass.
Look in your ass.
Check under your foreskin.
Shut the fuck up.
It's just your card. Okay.
You don't know where it goes?
Nope.
Oh,
It's in the base somewhere.
guess it's disposed of then. Not great.
Oh, no, it's right here. Put it back.
Cool magic trick.
I mean, the other thing I can do is I'll like open a portal, and it falls through. It falls from the ceiling and falls down
Oh,
from the
wow.
ceiling.
In a moving car.
Yeah.
It's blown away.
I think what's even funnier as well.
It teleports outside the back of the
I think
car.
what's even funnier as well is the fact that like you would drop it. It's a plastic bag, so it's literally just
Very slow crinkling noises.
But yeah, that it. Just checking to make sure there wasn't anything you guys wanted to talk about specifically.
No. Do you have anything to say, Elijah,
No.
the talker of the group?
The most talkative person in the car.
Yes.
And you all feel the car come to a temporary stop as Jeremiah leans out the window and pushes a few buttons on a keypad before the gate out front opens up, and he pulls into what you see is very much a like research institute building. It's primarily made out of concrete, but has these sort of large glass windows, and in sort of this very thin, professional sort of font on top of the building, it says the Blackwell Research Institute. And he pulls into a sort of side building, which has a small garage. You notice that there is a station wagon that appears to be beaten up in 5 or 6 different ways. None of the body panels match. Several of them have been like sanded down and things like that. And you see a large collection of pipes sticking out from the hood of the car that you do not recognize in most vehicles. As he sort of gets out of the
Shit
car.
box is that?
One of the students' cars. And he gets out of the car and clicks the button. The door opens up, and he pulls open the trunk and kind of carefully pulls everyone's bags out one at a time, and gestures for you all to enter the dormitories.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at the back of the trunk
I'll roll
and see what
past
kind of
everybody.
Mess Chris made.
It's actually been fairly cleaned up by one of Chris's moms, who sort of adjusted everyone's bags and everything. Nothing in your bags is damaged, so you're good.
All right, that's all I was worried about.
I'm rolling in.
Yeah. You roll in and you see that you are sort of halfway down 2 hallways that each have a certain number of rooms on either side. As Jeremiah comes in and sort of looks down at a piece of paper and points each of you in a different direction and says, your room's here, your room's here, your room's here. And inside you see these sort of small single-person living quarters. It has a small sort of kitchen counter with a microwave on it and a small sink, a full-size bathroom, sort of at the back of it, and enough room for a desk, a dresser, and a single twin-size bed. Everything in here smells clean and fresh, as if this building has just been put together.
So fresh.
It's very reminiscent of like a hotel, but small. With that, each of you gets to your desk, and each of you sees a piece of paper specifically for you that reads individually for the following: welcome, your name, to the IKR youth training program. Your abilities are, and it reads for each of you. For Chris, it reads spatiokinetic, someone who is capable of altering the distance between things or their relation to each other, including items, people, and atoms. For Rena, it reads you are a biokinetic and a necrokinetic. A biokinetic implies the control of that which is alive, once alive, to either create life, to halt death, or to, in some way, shape, or form, alter that which is alive. And necrokinetic, which has control over that which is dead, that which was once alive, or that which is in the process of that. And for Elijah, it reads you are a pyrokinetic. Commonly misconceived to believe that it is control over fire. It is control over the essence of heat, the creation of vibration between atoms. And at the bottom it says, for each of you it kind of gives a sort of, you can tell is a personalized note that simply says, I'm glad that you were able to attend, and I hope that you find yourself comfortable here at the Blackwell Research Institute. And that is where we will end our session.